Thomas Buffel there, Andy, he was a tidy player, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Back in a time when you never seen many 5'9" number 10s in Scottish football. So for me, he was kind of the first of his type, shall I say, that I certainly seen coming at Rangers. But yeah, fantastic football. I was there for 3 seasons. Obviously played a massive part in that famous helicopter Sunday, getting the assist for Nacho Novo. So yeah, fantastic player. Great insight he gave us as well into both clubs. Really interesting. I'm talking how Genk play. Kind of match for match, you would say, with the type that Russell Martin wants to play, so both teams try to dominate the football. He also talked about fragility at the back, so I'm not sure if he was talking about Rangers or Genk at half the time, so it'll be really interesting to see how both styles compare going into the game tonight.
Well, kick-off is fast approaching at Ibrox. Final thoughts from you, Stephen Thompson. What's key for Rangers tonight?
Just, I mean, I'm looking around the stadium, there's plenty of empty seats, and there's not that buzz that we've all been here on a Thursday night in European games where there's this kind of electric feeling in the stadium. It's not quite here just yet, and as I said, lots of empty seats in the stand, but for the supporters that are here, the key thing is to get them behind you earlier on in the game, and that is by creating opportunities and getting forward and looking dangerous. I mean, I know we're talking a lot about possession here, and Genk will want control of the ball and Rangers will want control of the ball, but the supporters want to see them being aggressive with that and getting into forward areas, getting crosses in the box. It's important. The crowd's massive, so for me, Rangers need to get the crowd right on side early doors. If it's not the case, and Genk, I fully expect them to come right after Rangers, knowing the fragility that's in this stadium. And if they get the better of the opening proceedings, it could be a long old night.
I think that's the key thing tonight, Derek, isn't it? We've been saying all night, we heard from a couple of fans there, many of them have just had enough. They don't see a way back for Russell Martin. They made their feelings clear on Saturday, both before the game and then protests during the game. A poor start tonight, and we know, Derek, the atmosphere will turn toxic very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's not even that it becomes toxic, it becomes quiet. That's the worst thing that can happen, certainly in a European night. And Thomas just said it, it's not the normal. You know, I'm having a good look about, even just after 7 o'clock, and it's kind of flat. You know, you just get that feel. It's not normal. That's what I'm trying to say, and it's a weird feeling for me. It's a beautiful night as well here at Ibrox. This place is normally absolutely bouncing. It isn't, but what the players have got to do then, of course the manager will give them the information, the tactics, but they've got to get themselves together and get out there and say, right, we can create a bit of an atmosphere, we can get the fans behind us. So that's down to them to run forward, get the ball forward quick, get balls into the box, create a bit of excitement, try and get that first goal, you know, to get the fans behind them. If they can do that, they've got an opportunity to win another game of football, and that'll kind of go a little bit, not a long way, a little bit away to keeping these fans, certainly, that are in the stadium tonight. Do you know, just a wee aside issue here. I've got 2 sons, as you know. I've got 3 sons, one playing tonight, obviously, 2 that should be here. I had an argument with them last couple of days. I says, you support Rangers through the bad times and the good times. I says, you should be here. One's down at Villa Park and one's sitting in the house watching the game. So I tried my best. You know, I'm fortunate because I'm working with you guys, but they've had enough, you know, and that's the way it is for a lot. But listen, I applaud the fans that have come in the stadium tonight. You know, they're here, they want to be entertained, they want to see a winning side. So it's up to the players, not just the manager. The players have got to go out and create that. Yeah, just for people tuning in, Derek's son Lewis, of course, plays for Bologna. They are down at Aston Villa tonight. 2 games kicked off at 5:45. Go Ahead Eagles 0, FCSB 1 and Lille 2, Brann 1. The opening goal for Lille, they're coming from the former Rangers striker Hamza Egeman. Tom Mings alongside the guys here at Ibrox. Tom, it's just another chapter in what has been a remarkable story at Ibrox in recent years. Rangers need to get their house in order really soon. It's been a shambles of late.
Yeah, it has. Well, look, but most recently they've had a good result against Hibs. They have to grow from that. They have to develop. They have to take some confidence from that. But this is such a fragile situation here. They need to build a bit of trust between the fans and the team. And there's only one way of doing that, as we know, and that's to win again.
Yeah, Andy Halliday alongside me in the studio. Final words from yourself, Andy. Before I get your thoughts on the game, we've got the pictures coming into the studio here. You are shocked at the empty seats.
I can't believe it, Kenny. And I know the guys were trying to explain it to us, but I was expecting a flicker here and there, empty seats. But we're seeing the pictures just now, and honestly, I can't believe there's that many empty seats, and it just shows the feeling amongst the fans at the club at the minute. But certainly for the fans that are there, they're expecting to be entertained, they're expecting to see a good Rangers side get a victory today, and they're going to have to try and produce on the night against a Genk side that's obviously struggling themselves at the minute.
Are you expecting your former club to do the business?
I do. I'm probably more going off Rangers' recent success in Europe over the years. I don't think there's been many, but I do think a couple of good performances so far for Russell Martin's Rangers side have been in European nights. I look at the game at Victoria Pilsen that we done together as a prime example. But again, I'm not trying not to repeat myself, but I think it's imperative that it is a fast start and it's a quick start. And I think if Rangers get the first goal, I think it could be a relatively comfortable night. But my overall prediction is probably just a 1-goal margin victory for Rangers.
Well, a huge game ahead. I can see the players in the tunnel at Ibrox. It's time now to sit back and enjoy the action. It's Rangers against Genk in the Europa League with Stephen Thompson, Derek Ferguson and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Welcome to Ibrox as Rangers get their Europa League campaign underway against the Belgians of Genk. Both sides coming into the game in pretty dismal early season form. Rangers, though, did alleviate some of the gloom with a victory here over Hibernian in the League Cup on Saturday. And Russell Martin needs a similar outcome tonight if he is to try to turn the tide. The players out on the pitch now with the Europa League anthem booming away over the PA system here at Ibrox. As Andy was alluding to there, still plenty of blue seats vacant tonight, but nonetheless enough inside Ibrox to make a good old racket if Rangers can start the game in the way, the manner that the guys have been discussing, on the front foot, creating opportunities and who knows, grabbing an early goal. So the two teams lined up either side of the halfway line as the anthem comes to an end. The Steadicam's got all his close-ups going down that line, and all the little mascots begin to make their way off the park on a big night for them. But it's a huge night for Rangers, a big night for Genk as well. Their manager, the German Torsten Fink, under similar scrutiny to that of Russell Martin. He's been in the job a year longer though, so he doesn't have the excuse of lack of familiarity, still trying to get his message across to these players. They started last season extremely well. They topped the Belgian league for a long spell, but it really tailed off towards the end of last season, and that's the kind of form that they have taken into the start of this campaign, with just 3 wins from 10 all season in all competitions, no wins in their last 3. Rangers, as I mentioned, at least got that victory at last, a bit of a monkey off their back when they saw Hibernian to reach the League Cup semi-final. An old firm semi to come at the start of November. The two captains, James Tavernier and Brian Heenan, who's in a similar position to Tavernier in that he's been at the club such a long time. He's actually been there all of his career. This is his 345th appearance for the Belgian side in his 11th season after his debut back in July of 2015, which is exactly when James Tavernier also joined Rangers, as he again notches up another milestone for Rangers. This is his 527th appearance. That's quite incredible for Tavernier, whose time at Rangers may come to an end at the close of this season when he's out of contract. We shall see how that transpires, but he'd love to go out on a high if that is the case, by helping resurrect the fortunes of this club that he led to the title a few years back, but since then it's been second fiddle to Celtic once again. It will be the Belgians to kick us off. They'll go from left to right as we look at it from a position in the gantry in the main stand. They're in white tops, blue shorts and white socks. Rangers contrasting with blue shirts, white shorts, black and red socks, and off we go. as Martin Smits, the centre back, hammers it forward down that left hand side. Raskan puts it forward down the left flank, and it's Kayembe starting at left back for Genk, who knocks it forward. Here he is though, back once more to Smets, midway inside his own half, and Kayembe once more rolls it back to the goalkeeper. Chermiti will go and try and close him down, almost gets there before the keeper gets out to Sadiq on this right hand side. Good challenge from Migoma. Sadiq will pick up once more, knocks it long down that right flank, out of play, and Rangers will have a throw in on this near side on the halfway line. Migoma will take, just trying to, just checking. I think it is a 4 at the back that Genk have gone with, as kind of thought they would. UEFA's formations are rarely to be trusted, particularly when the club is entitled to just give them whatever they want to try and mislead the opposition as much as anything else. So it's 4 rather than a 5 at the back, as Chermiti wins the first flick on of the night, and then he picks up once more on the left hand side, but it's a careless pass back to Migoma and out for a throw in to Genk, just in front of Russell Martin's technical area. He's already prowling at the edge of that, as is his counterpart Torsten Fink, who played for Bayern Munich in a pretty impressive career, although he was at fault for Man United's equaliser in that famous Champions League final in 1999. It's back in the possession of Hendrik van Krombrugge. Wonderful moniker for the goalkeeper this evening, is picked up on the right hand side by Genk. Under pressure is Owen. It's now Gassama who's lit up some of the Rangers' performance. He's pretty much been their best performer in Raskan's caught in possession, and Genk can try and come forward at pace. Tavernier able to cut that out and finds Diamondi midway inside his own half. Looks for an option, and the one he picks is Migoma. Migoma plays it across his penalty area to John Suter. We've played a couple of minutes, no goals as yet. We'll get the thoughts of the guys on the early stages in just a moment, but Suter playing it to Cornelius, playing his first ever European club competition game, into Diamondi. Now Migoma out to the left hand side for Oscar back to Migoma. He was caught late there by Bangura, and the referee points for a free kick to Rangers midway inside their own half, left hand side, and no real pattern as yet established to the game. The Rangers crowd, such as it is, beginning to make the noise and get behind the side as Migoma plays it forward. Gassama and Oscar almost getting in each other's ways. Gassama who tries to play it into Diamondi. His pass is cut out, and that's picked up by Heyman. He's challenged well by Migoma, but it's picked up in the midfield now by Bangura, who gets out to the left hand side to Kayembe. Bangura once more, Kayembe exchange passes back the way to Smets. He helps it back once more to the keeper. Chermiti will chase it down again, plays it away to Bangura. He's under pressure from Diamondi, but he lays it off to Smets, and Genk get away with that. But that looks like a tactic that they will employ. They'll invite pressure onto them and then try play around the Rangers press, as Smets picks up once more. Almost 4 minutes on the clock, and pretty uneventful thus far, as Van Krombrugge picks up once more and clips it into the midfield. Finds Heyman in a lot of room. That's a good ball through. There's a big chance early on for Genk. Back goes Migoma. He had the pace to manage to deal with that. Danger not quite clear as yet. It's cut back, smothered by the Rangers defence, and then out comes Butland. But that was a real opportunity for El Ouadi, the marauding right back, who was played through. Unfortunately for Rangers, Migoma had the pace to get back, but it was a huge opportunity early on for Genk.
Yeah, massive opportunity. I don't understand why he doesn't hit it on his right foot. He tries to cut back in, but maybe Migoma getting just caught out wrong side, isn't aware of what's behind him. It's actually Jarovski that picked the ball up. Hold on, here's Chermiti.
Chermiti on the edge of the box, lays it back now for Mikey Moore, right hand side. Back out to Chermiti, who's on that right flank at the moment. Back to Diamondi, into Raskan. A big let off for Rangers inside the opening 5 minutes, but here they come through Mikey Moore. He just slips it to Raskan, right hand side. His attempted cross is blocked. Don't Genk pick up once more, and it's Stukers, and here comes El Ouadi once more. He loves to get forward. He's got 4 goals already this season. Now Genk pick up, and it's into the penalty area, looking to try and find room for a shot. He's challenged, and Tavernier picks up, but Moore was waiting on it. It's picked up by Kane and the captain. Angle of the box, left hand side, curls it into the back post, and El Wadi on the stretch sends it wide. But already early warnings for Rangers that Genk are here and they mean business. 0-0.
Yeah, quicker, sharper, they've took control of the game so far. It's El Wadi there, you know, it's a couple of opportunities he's had already. It's not the start that Rangers wanted, you know, they had to get the ball forward a little bit more quicker to Sharmiti, you know, and try and smother them, the opposition a little bit. But it's as if they've came here, they're 14th in the league, they don't look like it. They're playing with a little bit of a swagger at the moment, and look as if they fancy this one. Does Genk?
It's with Cornelius. Osgaard drops deep to pick up possession, then plays it back to Cornelius, and now back to Butland, and now Suter at the edge of his own penalty area. 6 minutes in, 0-0. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live Sports Extra as Osgaard picks up on the left flank, deep inside his own half though. Back to Cornelius as Russell Martin waves him forward. Still wants to drop off, so does Raskan. Cornelius though goes long, looking into the left channel. Might just fall here for Sama. Just reaches Smets from the pass back from El Wadi, and he manages to get it clear.
It's a good option for Rangers to have that more direct ball up to Chermiti, isn't it? Because he's got the physical presence. He'll go and challenge, try and make things awkward. Alright, he didn't win the header there, but neither did Sadiq that's up against him, and it falls and nearly breaks for a Rangers player.
Tom, you could say it's a little bit crude, but it was effective, and that's what Rangers have got to do, you know. So they're unlucky not to just get win the second ball off for Sharmiti, so sometimes it's need must.
Rangers have it at the back through Suter, square for Cornelius. He's put under pressure. Balls for Magoma is not particularly tidy. He's back to Cornelius once more, and he just rolls it back to Jack Butland as Rangers are forced back the pitch. Butland plays it short out to Cornelius once more. Good ball into Osgaard this time. Again, he's come fairly deep into Mikey Moore. Takes a terrible touch, and then he's seemed to be fouled there with a second touch, although it's the Genk player who stayed down. Rangers managed to pick up possession, and it's Tavernier. Tavernier tries the big switch out to Gassama, but it doesn't reach it. It's who's stayed down inside the Rangers half after the challenge by Mikey Moore. The loose ball after a poor first touch from Moore. I think Genk are just going to roll the ball out of play as though it's taken the brunt of that challenge, and the Genk physio will be allowed to come on and check on the Korean striker.
Yeah, he just gets one at the top of the foot. Both players are stretching for it. Mikey Moore gets there first, gets a wee nick in the ball, but O's already committed to the challenge and gets a raker down the top of his foot. With Solar, no flesh there to take the impact, but he's back in his feet, be alright.
As it didn't require treatment after all, but it's taken him a while to pick himself back up. 8 minutes in then, Rangers 0, Genk 0 in this Europa League tie. Rangers will have the throw-in, but it presumably will just be given back to Genk as they had put the ball out of play for the player to get some attention, and it is indeed played back by Tavernier to the goalkeeper Van Krombrugge. No sign altogether in the squad of their other keeper, Tobias Lawal, who has played the last number of games. Van Krombrugge injured after the opening game against Club Brugge, and has missed out since. Lawal out of the squad altogether tonight, as Cornelius plays it out to the left hand side for Magoma, just inside his own half, left hand side, back to Cornelius. Again, it's a short ball to Magoma. Rangers inviting pressure onto them. Cornelius rolls it back to Butland once more, takes a touch on his left foot, then rolls it into Diamondi, who plays it back to Cornelius. Out to the left hand side once more to Magoma. Magoma forward down the left hand side for Osgaard, who again holds off the challenge of Bangura and invites Magoma forward. Forward he comes down that left hand side. Now it's Gassama taking it on up against El Wadi. Almost at the byline now. Gassama tries to pick out Mikey Moore at the edge of the box. Moore now for Raskan, challenged well by Sadiq. Might rule it break for Chermiti's in there trying to make a nuisance of himself. Can't quite win it, and it's hacked away by Kayembe inside the penalty area. Play over on the far side, and a bit more positivity from Rangers there.
Yeah, Magoma does well with it. He receives the ball and drives after good work from Osgaard. Drives a good 30-40 yards, releases Gassama down the left. wasn't a great ball in, but it seemed to cause a bit of panic in the Genk defence.
A couple of times Mikey Moore's taken a slightly heavy touch when you would probably expect him to do better, given the undoubted talent he possesses. As Cornelius plays it square at the back once more to Magoma, and then Osgar comes to look for it again on the halfway line. Back with Magoma again into Diamonde. Osgar playing little short passes back to Cornelius, then he tries to play it forward to Mikey Moore, who's come in the central area and picks up possession. Tavernier's outside of him, still it's Moore on the angle of the box now. Eventually plays it to Tavernier. Tavernier tries to dink it between a couple of players. A player from either side, Tavernier and a Genk player hit the deck over on the far side. The referee doesn't give anything, and Rangers continue in possession. It's back with Suter just inside the Genk half. It's Cornelius, and then Magoma comes out to the left hand side for Gassama. Always looks more dangerous when he plays on this left hand side up against El Ouadi. Magoma coming in support. He goes back instead to Raskan, about 30 yards from goal, infield to Diamonde. Back out to the left hand side for Magoma, and now Gassama once more. Can he get the ball into the box? It's deflected away by El Ouadi. Will pick up on his chest just outside the Rangers box. A heavy touch from him, and Gassama takes it back off him. Magoma just ahead of him. Gassama holds on to it though, and then it's played back to Cornelius. Diamonde gives it away. Steps in, but Diamonde's won it back. Now it's Magoma. Can he hit the penalty area? Headed away only as far as Tavernier. Now it's Mikey Moore. Takes the shot on just over the top from Mikey Moore. Decent effort. 12 minutes in, the first on goal from Rangers. But it's still Rangers nil, Genk nil.
Yeah, right idea from Mikey Moore. Just playing a little more inside. You know, I thought he'd maybe keep his width a little bit more, but I think he's been allowed just to come in a little bit closer to Sharmiti, but he just finds the ball coming to him. He's about 35 yards out, and he's trying to find that top right hand corner. It's not a bad effort, just a yard over the bar, but better certainly from Rangers.
Suter jostling there with brush to the ground as the Rangers defender, and is penalised for that challenge. That'll be an interesting battle as the game progresses. Here's Diamonde, the free kick already taken. 12 minutes in, no goals at Ibrox as yet. Fine evening in this late September. Only now beginning to cool, really. It was fairly warm until just about half an hour ago.
Thanks, Judy.
What's that? Judith, did you call me? It's back with John Suter, just inside his own half. Switches the play out to the left hand side for Gassama. Gassama kills it with a good first touch up against El Ouadi here. Osgar makes a run away from him, but he goes back instead to Magoma. Now it's Raskan back to the halfway line to Cornelius, and out to the left hand side once more is Magoma, the left back. Gassama again midway inside the Genk half, infield to Diamonde, who's one of a number of Rangers players who have yet to really hit form this season, you would have to say. As Cornelius rolls it back just inside his own half to Suter. Chermiti comes off the front, lays it off to Osgar, and now over on the right hand side is Moore, back to Suter just inside his own half once more, plays it to his left to Cornelius. The Rangers fans want the ball to go forward a bit earlier. Now it does to the left to Diamonde. Now it's out to Gassama. Diamonde continues his run. That's where the ball goes early into the box. It's away by Sadiq just to the edge of the box. Diamonde keeps it, Gassama keeps it alive, but again Genk deal with the ball and get out of the penalty area. But better possession is from Rangers, trying to make it a little bit more meaningful as Gassama again is fed by Diamonde into Raskan. Now it's Magoma at the box. Poor clearance. Who's it going to come to us? Not wide by Mikey Moore. Nico Raskan was hoping to take that on his right foot, but Mikey Moore got there just ahead of him and sweeps it wide. Might have sat more kindly for Raskan, but either way Mikey Moore should be doing better. 14 played, 0-0.
Again, it's down this left hand side. Most of the Rangers' positive plays come down this left hand side in the opening 14 minutes, and he gets an alright ball into the box. It's poorly cleared by the Genk defence. It rolls out. I think Raskin's stepping onto it, but Mikey Moore comes out of nowhere tries to whack it with his left foot and chokes it into the ground. He just needed a wee bit more composure there, Derek, didn't he?
Yeah, put him as what he's been all about. Al said it, he's had a few heavy touches. He's technically, well, we're told he's technically very good, albeit, you've got to do it in front of, a big crowd when the pressure's on, and he just snatches at it there. A lot bit more composure, just straight through it, hit the target certainly, but I think that was a wasted opportunity for Rangers.
Rangers just lifted the tempo recently, and here's Raskan, left hand side of the penalty area. He's got Oscar in support further to his left. He can't get the cross beyond the captain Heyman, but it breaks out to Cornelius, about 25 from goal, into Mikey Moore, central area once more, back to Tavernier. Very congested in that edge of the area, and so Rangers come back the way, much to the dismay of some of their fans who collectively groan. Back out with Moore, right hand side. Tavernier was just caught there by Kayembe, and Rangers will get the free kick about 30 yards or so from goal, out to the right hand side. An opportunity to put this one into the penalty area.
It's been a good 5 minutes for Rangers, playing a lot of football in the Genk's final third. It was actually quite a nasty challenge, that, from Kayembe on.
That'll be checked, I would imagine.
All the right in his ankle. There was no intent in it, though. He was
doesn't matter,
a fraction late, but it's been better from Rangers, looking a threat. Maybe just the final ball into the box could be a wee bit better, but a good opportunity here, 40 yards out. Tavernier over it.
Yeah, I thought it was a slightly naughty challenge from Kayembe, whether he meant it or not. It's caught Tavernier on the ankle, but no major harm done, as Tavernier prepares to send in the free kick himself. Rangers have loaded the edge of the area. Chermiti's a towering striker as he looks for his first goal in Rangers colours. Tavernier sends it in back post. It's Suter who's there! Oh, how's that stayed out? Cornelius tries to knock it in. Somehow the clearance off the line.
It's unbelievable.
Now the referee points for a free kick to Genk inside their own penalty area. But how that was kept out by Heyman, I will never know.
I tell you what, we'll get it's a brilliant angle for us, because it's a magnificent ball way in the back post area. Suter gets away from his marker. It's a wonderful header because he just directs it. The pace is on the ball, so all he needs to do is direct it. He does it ever so well, and it's just floating into the back of net, that far right hand corner, and somehow the Genk player, how he gets to that.
It's unbelievable. I just can't believe it. When you're looking at it going, you're right behind it, perfect angle, you're thinking, right, 1-0 Rangers, that's in the back of the net. Haining comes from nowhere and gets his leg up into an almost impossible position.
And now it's Genk coming forward. It's Elowadi into a good area. Oh, over the top. That's a glorious opportunity for the former Celtic man, and he blazes over the crossbar when really he should have been burying that. But it's still 0-0 after 17 and a half minutes.
That is an absolute sitter. Easily the best opportunity of the match. He's fought 7 yards out. Rangers sleeping again. It's a switch of play from the centre half out to this right hand side. Iwadi it was, flashes it across the face. He's onside. Let's see where he hits it from. Probably 8 yards out. Just keep it down. Anywhere keep it down. It's in the back of the net, high up and over the bar. A proper let off Rangers. That is a sitter.
And now that's the type of play that we kind of want from Rangers. It doesn't need to take 10-11 passes to get there. A wonderful switch of play. Iwadi, a touch out his foot, and then he just plays it across, and he should be putting that in the back of the net without a shadow of doubt.
That's twice now, though, in this particular channel down Genk's right hand side and Rangers left, where they've not been tuned in when they've turned the ball over quickly, Genk, and the switch of play has been on, whether it be Gassama or Magoma.
Magoma's just a little bit guilty of that.
Falling asleep. Yeah.
That's nice play between Gassama and Raskan. Raskan can't quite get the better of Heyman, though, and then it comes off Gassama and out for a throw in to Genk. But a couple of dummies there from initially Raskan, then Gassama, but didn't quite work out for Rangers in the end. But big chances at either end within the space of a minute there. Suter having a header cleared off the line somehow by the skipper Brian Heyman, and then at the other end within a blink of an eye, blazing over the top from a wonderful ball from El Awadi, who looks a real dangerous player, the Moroccan fullback, but loves to get forward in this right hand side. Rangers have a throw in on this near side, midway inside the Genk half. 19 played, 0-0 between Rangers and Genk in this opening Europa League game, as Magoma throws it into Chermiti, tries a little dummy, and I think he's got his side a corner. He has indeed, off Sadiq. almost got away from Sadiq there, but the big centre back getting the challenge in right on the byline, knocking it behind for a Rangers corner on this left hand side. 20 minutes almost played as Tavernier comes across to this left flank, and let's see what the delivery is like this time as he laid it on a plate for Suter from the free kick just a few moments ago. Gassama is offering himself short, but Tavernier looks like he's going to swing this one in, right footed from the left hand side as Rangers look for an opening goal here to settle a few nerves, of which there are probably many at the moment inside Ibrox. The referee needs to sort something out in the 6-yard box before this is allowed to be taken.
I mean, it looks as if it's made to measure for the goal that Raskin scored against Hibs on Saturday.
Yeah,
that space is there.
Yeah, let's see if they can hit that once more. It's Tavernier then from that same area. It goes deep this time. It's headed away to the edge of the box and then helped on as far as Megoma. Megoma gets it back out to the left hand side. Tavernier takes a touch and swings it in, back post again. Good punch from the keeper, only as far as Mikey Moore. His shot is blocked from the edge there, and Medina will come forward and Genk will try and counter quickly, as they have done to good effect so far. It's all picking up left hand side, tries to clip it into the area. That's much too close to Jack Butland, who immediately rolls it out to Diamondi, who's under a bit of pressure here from El Awadi and loses out, but he was fouled in the referee's view. I think he got away with one there, to be honest. Diamondi. The Rangers do have the free kick midway inside their own half. 0-0.
I tell you what, the boy, is it El Awadi? I tell you what an engine he's got. You know, he can't keep going like this, can he? I mean, he's everywhere. He's playing right back. He's like fulfilling two positions. You know, he's playing right back and right wing. He's incredible.
Rangers have it right hand side. Tavernier into Mikey Moore, spins away from his marker, then tries to slide it through again for Tavernier, but it's cut out and Bangura picks up, and Genk will try and build some once more from the back. It's Sadiq plays it forward to Stukers on this right hand side into Bangura. Rangers trying to swarm round and win the ball back quickly, but Smets gets out to the left hand side where the left back Kayembe's in a fair amount of room. Now it's forward to Medina on that left hand side, nominally a left back himself but playing further forward tonight, and it's back in the midfield. Kayembe picks up once more left hand side, and now it's Heyman into the area. It's a good touch and an opportunity off the post. Rangers survive by the skin of their teeth there as Hroshowski with the curling shot in from the left of the penalty area. Butland was beaten, but it comes off his upright. Rangers still haven't got it properly cleared as Bangura picks up 25 yards from goal, plays it square to Kayembe. Genk coming as close as anyone to scoring thus far. Midway point in the first period, still goalless. After that scare, Stoikers picks up and rolls it forward into Hroshowski once more, right hand side of the box, blocked by Megoma as he tried to cross. Good spell this though for Genk as Heyman picks up in the middle of the park. Bangura once more, right of centre, midway inside Rangers half, plays it back to Smets at the edge of the centre circle and out to the left hand side for Kayembe. Kayembe coming in field. Stoikers is coming off the right and he plays it to Heyman, and now it's Sadiq. Sadiq will try and come forward. Chermiti closes him down, but good passing this from Genk up to the edge of the box for O. El Awadi was almost in again there, but it breaks kindly for Rangers, and then O slides it out of play. But my goodness, Rangers living dangerously at times at the back, and Hroshowski for the effort just a moment ago, just off the upright.
I tell you what, it's a wonderful ball from the captain Heyman. I tell you what, he's a player, Al, you can see that. I tell you what, he's got lovely vision. It's a lovely way to pass, but Hroshowski, you know, it's a wonderful touch out his feet and doesn't go for the power, just looks to find that far left hand corner, just agonisingly comes off the post for Genk. But yeah, the captain, he looks a bit special to me.
Hroshowski got a couple of goals in the 5-1 win away at Lech Poznan in the qualifying round of the playoff round of the Europa League, and almost off the mark tonight at Ibrox, but it's still 0-0 after 24 minutes between Rangers and Genk as Oscar picks up, or he's hacked to the ground there by Bangura. It was pretty crude from the Genk midfielder, and the free kick is given and taken by Megoma. Cornelius plays it and gets it back from Diamondi. Now it's Suter. Certainly looks like both sides have a goal in them, or at least they're kind of open enough at the back that the other side are going to get opportunities to score. Genk have failed to keep a clean sheet in any of their 10 games so far this season as it played forward to Osgar. He can't bring it under control. Chermiti looking to make life difficult for Bangura, who does well to bring it clear, but Magoma steps in and then plays it back the way to Suter. Suter on the halfway line. Square again to Magoma, who's seen plenty of the ball. Brings it forward from the left back position. Osgar's come out to the left hand side. Ahead of him is Gassama, but he goes back to Magoma once more. Now it's Cornelius. He tries to slide it forward and does well to get it to Gassama. Gassama up against El Awadi. Infield for Osgar. Nice little touch between his legs. Take it away from Heyman. Then he goes back the way again though to Suter, but better play from Osgar. Out to the right hand side now with Tavernier. Midway inside the Belgians' half. Back with Suter again, who's come closest for Rangers with a header cleared off the line. Magoma back out to Osgar, who's picked up a bit of space now on the left hand side. Again Gassama's hugging the touchline ahead of him. Back there with Magoma, and now it's Gassama. Gassama up against El Awadi once more, a few yards from the byline. Tries to sell him a couple of dummies. Onto the right foot, it's deflected. Sadiq high in the air. And Rangers keep it alive here. Sasgar for Magoma, and now back the way with Diamondi, and back again to Cornelius as Rangers will try and build again into the feet of Mikey Moore in a central area. He's got licence to come in off that right as Diamondi gets it back out to Magoma left hand side, and now it's Gassama once more to try and take on El Awadi. Magoma goes ahead of him, clips it towards the back post, but it's onto the roof of the net instead, and it will be a goal kick to Genk. 26 and a half minutes played here at Ibrox. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live Sports Extra, but it's Rangers 0, Genk 0.
They kept the ball well there, did Rangers. Patient build up, eventually working it down this left hand side. Osgaard's continually going from the central area out to this left hand side and picking up wee pockets, but on this occasion again it was Magoma who found himself in a decent area to put a cross in, and again just the final ball not quite what it could be.
Kayembe being forced back the way, but still in possession, and he just knocks it forward on the right foot up towards O, beaten in the jump by Cornelius, and then Osgar picks up the ball forward on the halfway line and encouraged to get forwards by the home fans. Out to the left he goes to Gassama. Gassama again will try and take on El Wadi. He's done well. To the byline he goes. Now can he pick out a teammate in the middle? Keeper flaps it away, and Heyman will be able to complete the clearance. Just thumps it up towards the halfway line. O will come across to this right hand side and keep it in as Genk try and flood bodies forwards. One of them is Medina on that far side as O tries to find him on the left. Tavernier's with him. He goes back the way to Kayembe on the halfway line into Heyman, and he gets it back from Stoikers out to the left hand side once more with Medina. Now it's Heyman once more, back to Smets just inside his own half, and he'll play it square for Sadiq. Across comes Chermiti. No one else in Rangers colours helping him close down there, so it's easy to play round him as Kayembe picks up left hand side. We go back once more to Heyman, and he rolls all the way back to his goalkeeper, who's about 10 yards outside his box. Van Krombrugge plays it short to Smets, back out to the left hand side to Heyman. He's closed down by Diamondi. That'll break for Chermiti right hand side, tries to help it on for Diamondi, who continues to move forward, breaks back to Chermiti, knocked out a play for a Rangers throw on the far side. What you made of Chermiti so far, Tomo, in almost the first half hour?
Yeah, I mean, he's not seen a lot of the ball, and when he's been in a reasonable area in the middle of the box, the quality of cross that's come in hasn't been ideal for him. He's putting himself about, he's working hard enough, but he really hasn't seen enough of it.
It's another poor touch from Mikey Moore. Knocks the ball out of play for a throw-in. Really has to do better.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Al. That's about 3 or 4 touches, you know. He should be just taking that in and keeping safe possession of the ball, getting his team up the park. So he's looking lively enough. You can, the effort's there, but we keep hearing that, you know, technically he's very good, but I says it earlier there, you know, you've got to do that when you're under a little bit of pressure, and he has been under pressure against this Genk side, so got to do better.
Launched long by Van Krombrugge. and Medina gets to it before Tavernier, now picked up by Kayembe, left hand side into the midfield it goes. It looks like it's offside. Indeed, the assistant doesn't bother waiting for that move to progress, he just sticks the flag up, and it will be a Rangers free kick midway inside their own half, right hand side, as we do approach the half hour mark. No goals at Ibrox, chances at either end. I have to say, in all honesty, the best opportunities have come for the visitors. They've hit the
100%.
post, and O's blazed across over the bar from just a few yards out. Suter coming closest for Rangers with a header that was cleared off the line. It's Asghar plays a rather lazy looking ball in the midfield and gives it away, and Genk will pick up and move forward through Kayembe, left hand side. I think it was Andy Halliday who was saying pre-match that he reckons there's a lot more to come from Tello Asghar, and you had to imagine there is, because he came here with a fairly big reputation, and certainly he's done the business for Norway in recent times, as Andy mentioned, with the goals against Moldova. But yet to see it really in a Rangers jersey as Genk get the ball into the middle. It's Warshawski from the edge of the area trying to find room for a shot. He hit the post a few minutes ago, and he gets the ball into the middle, and quickly closed down there, and he's knocked it behind. It will be a goal kick in the end. Good challenge, I think, from Cornelius to pretty much put him off, but Rangers not looking entirely comfortable once again at the back, you would have to say.
No, Rashowski's been really good. Certainly the opportunity off the post, but on that occasion does well to kind of manipulate a cross into the box. Owes it full stretch, and eventually Cornelius gets in front of him. It's decent defending with his clearance, blocks it kind of off O's foot, out for the goal kick to Rangers. You're right to point out that Genk have had the better opportunities in the game, and none more so than O's.
Because Tom will put the ball into the box just that little bit quicker. Rangers over elaborate at times. For me, take an extra touch, an extra pass. You know, this Genk side, when they get into the final third, it's their one thought is, can we get the ball into the box, can we find a man, and they do it more accurately, and they do it quickly as well.
Jack Wilton got away with a fairly horrendous attempted pass out from the back a minute ago, but Genk do have possession. It's El Wadi on the right hand side. Magoma's trying to close him down, but gets the pass off to Bangura, and now it's Heyman. That's a lovely ball. Kayembe left hand side into the middle, and again it's challenged by Cornelius, and he can't divert it on target. It does look like another good opportunity for the striker. Kayembe putting a really dangerous ball into the box. Still 0-0.
It's Heyman, the captain again. It's a wonderful way to pass, you know. Kayembe, he's on his way down that left hand side, but it's the way to pass from Kayembe, the captain. It's brilliant, and he just flashes it. Kayembe flashes it across that 6 yard box, and again, he's got to get there, Tom.
He gets contact on it, but not enough. I mean, if he gets any reasonable contact on that with the pace on the ball and diverts it goalward, then you're looking at a goal. It was a fantastic pass and an even better ball flashed across the face, but yeah, Genk looked the better side last 5 minutes.
And they certainly are coming forward once more as Kayembe once more on the left hand side. Up goes Butland and clutches that one as he backpedalled. The ball was floated into the area that time, and a more comfortable take. But you can hear the Rangers fans starting to get a little bit disgruntled by what they're seeing here, because they do recognise that Genk are looking the more dangerous side, that they're creating the better opportunities, and Rangers, just as Derek's saying, over elaborating at times, taking too many passes to get forward. And it's when they do it a little bit quicker that they have looked that bit more dangerous. Cornelius tries a massive diagonal, which almost works out because it's knocked out of play over on the far side by Kayembe, and Rangers take the throw in quickly. It's Tavernier to Moore. Tavernier's still well advanced, but Moore checks back the way into Rascan. He goes. Now it's Diamondi in the middle of the park. It's a good ball for Tello Asghar now, out to Gassama, left hand side up against El Wadi, fires it across goal, keeper pushes it away once more, kindly falls to a Genk player, but Diamondi's won it back, left hand side of the box. Can he pick out a teammate at the back post? Tavernier's up there, played for a handball, and the referee gives nothing as the goalkeeper manages to grab it. It will be checked by VAR, as everything in the box is, and play continues for the moment at least.
I reckon it was a wee push in the back from Tavernier just before he headers it, so even if VAR did look at it, they might goal with a kind of push and foul from Tavernier before it. Certainly all the crowd wanted to look at it.
Well, the game's been stopped, which is pretty unusual.
Is he going to monitor?
The referee is
It's a handball.
Yeah, they are
That's a
checking it. That's extremely unusual to see the game stopped. I mean, usually they let the ball go out of play.
Yeah.
The coach, Torsten Fink's making the exact same point as you, Stephen, in saying there was a push in the back. So that will be taken into account absolutely by VAR, but they are checking for a potential handball, and it could be a penalty to Rangers.
I mean, it does hit his arm, there's no doubt about it. He has no idea. It's certainly not intentional. His arms are pretty unnatural because he's flailing and jumping after the slight push from Tavernier, and the proximity is incredibly close.
But it does hit his arm, and they have been given before.
It's
all on the. Is there a shove?
Aye, that's the thing.
You know, and you're right. He knows nothing about it.
He's going to come across, and now look at the monitor. It's taken him a while to get across here, and Torsten Fink is still protesting to the Slovenian referee Mate Jug that there was a push in the back. Will he get a chance to look at that himself just now as we begin to see what the VAR is showing him? I don't think it's much of a shove. I mean, he doesn't know anything about it. As you say, he's got his back to the ball as it's headed down, his arms away from his body, you could say. But I mean, it's from about
honestly
a yard.
I think this would be harsh, but I mean, for Rangers it'd be brilliant. It definitely hits his arm. He's no idea what's going on.
It's a little bit like a couple we saw given in the early stages of VAR in Scotland. There was one given against Celtic at Tynecastle, which kind of reminds me of a little bit of one against Burnaby as well at Celtic Park, when he was looking away from the ball but had his arm out and it was headed against his outstretched arm. Referee's had a good look. What is he going to decide here? I think he's calling for the two captains. He's telling everyone else to get away. He could do with just letting everyone know what he's going to decide, but the two captains have been called across to him. He's explaining his decision. Let's see if we can tell from the body language here.
Push,
yeah, he's saying that there was a push from Tavernier, I think, and presumably that will then mean there is no penalty kick for Rangers. Yeah, I think that is exactly what's going to be given. Yeah, he's pointing for a free kick to Genk as the final result of all that. Well, his compatriot in the VAR booth, Alan Boroshak, obviously thought there was something worth checking there, but the little shove by Tavernier is what's been penalised in the end, and so 37.5 minutes in, it remains Rangers 0, Genk 0, and we will have no penalty kick as a result of that VAR check. But it would have been pretty harsh, as you say, Stephen, on Genk. Clearly Rangers would have gladly taken any stroke of fortune that was going to come their way. That looked like a handball from Suter as he went back the way trying to deal with the pressure on Medina. Eventually he's dragged to the ground and the free kick goes Rangers' way. But still 0-0 then, with just about 7 minutes left, plus a fair bit added on time now because of that VAR stoppage. But Derek, you would have to say Rangers, again, not exactly really covering themselves in glory so far with the play they've had in this first period.
And the best way forward is to get the ball to Gassama down this left-hand side. He's the one that's created opportunities. He's the one that gets the ball into the box, and I'm saying get the ball into the box a little bit more often, because we just saw an incident there. You know, it didn't go Rangers' way, but you know, if you get the ball in there, you know, anything can happen, cause a little bit of havoc. You know, but Rangers just overplay at time for me. I just think it's pretty simple. Get it to the wide players, get it into the box. And another side, the right hand side, Mikey Moore's obviously been asked to play a little bit more in.
Asgard's giving it away. Picks up left hand side, feeds it forward to Roshovsky. Tries to play it off Diamondi, but he's just succeeded in knocking it straight behind, and it will be a goal kick to Rangers. 0-0 it stands then, with 6 minutes of the first period remaining. Rangers take the goal kick short as usual, and Suter gets it back from Butler. He's closed down Suter by Brashowski, plays it forward, it's almost cut out by Kayembe, but Raskan picks up and gets the break of the ball in the middle of the park and finds Moore, who again is in a central area, challenged by Bangura but holds him off. Chermiti goes ahead of him, poor pass from Moore, and he can't make the interception either, and the ball's played forward once more. Genk have it at the back then, it's Sadiq, and well, we mentioned the reaction of the Rangers crowd before, and when you're an 18-year-old trying to make your way in the game, it cannot be easy. It's going to take a real lot of strength of character to put that out of your mind and keep trying to play the way you've been asked to by your manager, the way you feel you can play, because Nicky Moore's had a few passes going astray, a few poor touches.
Yeah, it's been a difficult half for him, you know, in terms of as you rightly point out, the kind of wayward touches, but also when he's had the ball in reasonable possession, he's given it away once or twice as well. I think that on that occasion there, I think that's why the fans were showing their kind of displeasure at it. He could be a wee bit more positive with what he's doing.
Magoma back to Cornelius, just at the edge of his box. Magoma once more, forced back the way, but drops the shoulder and loses Straszowski for a yard or so, and that allows him to play it forward to Gassama. Gassama can't get the better of El Wadi, still battling away there though. That's a terrible challenge by Diamondi. He could go for this. He really could. It's a red card for Diamondi. What on earth is he thinking about, throwing himself into a challenge like that in the middle of the park completely needlessly? Mohamed Diamondi, he's sitting on the ground, the referee's waiting for him to get up, he's got his red card in his hand, and that is exactly what Rangers do not need at the moment, is to go down to 10 men. Mohamed Diamondi, straight red for not a reckless, a really needless.
It's wild. I mean, we're 20 yards from it here.
I tell you what, it's no wild, it's just stupid. It's a stupid challenge, and an error right in front of the dugouts, right in front of the main stand, right in front of the referee. And there you go, you've got the slow-mo there, but it's stupid. That's not brave. That's not class. That's stupidity.
I mean, you can go into the challenge in the manner that he does, as long as you're kind of on the ground and you make contact with the ball, but he goes over the top of the ball and catches El Wadi shin high, halfway between the shin and the knee. Really, really bad challenge, and there can be absolutely no argument. I saw Russell Martin down below is trying to gesticulate with the fourth official, moaning about it. When he sees it back, he'll have no complaints.
No argument about that. This wee fella El Wadi has been absolutely brilliant as well tonight. He's so sharp, so sometimes you've got to acknowledge that and just stay on your feet. You're not if you lunge in like that, you know, you're putting yourself under real pressure. But from where we're sitting, you know, I just thought it was a bit stupidity.
We called it and saw it straight off the bat, but when you see the replay, it just reinforces what we saw. I mean, it was a terrible challenge, and every day of the week a red card.
Well, Rangers still goalless, but they certainly have an uphill battle now, because Genk have looked dangerous, and now they will have a man extra for certainly the second half, in the last few minutes of this first period. Let's see if they can make that tell before half time. Rangers will have to reorganise quickly. Asgard's just dropped back a little bit for now. They just need to get to half time before they can regroup, as there's a big switch of play. A lovely ball there out from the right hand side to the left, but then Kayembe can't find a teammate in the penalty area from the left hand side, and a decent opportunity goes a begging for Genk. And Rangers now playing out from the back, but with a man fewer, as Gassama plays it infield to Asgar. Back the way to Suter, midway inside his own half, out to Magoma. 43 minutes on the clock. Rangers nil, Genk nil, but Diamondi dismissed for a terrible challenge on El Wadi. That's played forward by Gassama for Chermiti. He's got absolutely no one up helping him. He's at the byline. The best he can do is hope for a corner, but it's in the end out for a throw into Rangers' left hand side, as Chermiti tried to make the best of a pretty isolated situation. Here's Magoma going back the way to Cornelius. Now Suter inside the centre circle. Cornelius once more out to the left hand side for Magoma, just inside the Genk half. Has to come away there from Stoikers, but back to Cornelius he comes. Now Gassama. El Wadi close to him. Bangura helps double up on him and wins possession for Genk as we approach half-time here at Ibrox. No goals to report yet, but a red card for Mohamed Diamondi just a couple of minutes ago, straight red, and Stoikers plays it forward, a little flick between the legs there of Brashowski. Cornelius dives in and knocks it out of play for a throw into Genk on this right hand side as they come forward about 25 yards or so from the corner flag. Comes back the way to Sadiq and into the middle of the park for Smets, the central defensive partner. Back to Stoikers, right hand side, comes in as he likes to do on his left foot. Chermiti comes back and makes the challenge, and then Osgar steps in and knocks it away, but Smets picks up and gets it to Hayden, and now it's Kayembe that's cut out as he tried to play it into the penalty area as Tavernier just knocks it out of play. About to get the fourth officials board to show how long will be added on. 4 minutes at the end of this first period, which we are into now. 0-0 between Rangers and Genk in this Europa League opener. You're listening to us here on Sportsnet on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live Sports Extra as Smets has it on the halfway line for Genk. Out to the left hand side he goes. Big switch now for El Wadi, who's going to get even more room now with the Rangers a man down. Comes away from Migoma, swings it to the back post, but he's got too much on that, and it's straight behind for a goal kick. And in first half stoppage time, it's Rangers 0, Genk 0.
When you look at the kind of biggest performances from individual players in this first half, they've all come from Genk players. You know, Derek's already mentioned El Wadi. For me, Rajovski's been excellent. Hainan in the middle of the pitch. So if you're looking at standout players in the opening 45, unfortunately for Rangers, I wouldn't have picked a standout for them.
Their two full-backs have been excellent, Genk. You know, the quality they've shown, the energy. They get forward, they deliver the took balls in the box. Good balls as well, and Avo, you know, had been on his A game. You know, Rangers would find themselves a couple of goals behind.
Chermiti ruled to have fouled El Wadi as he tried to power forward again, and Genk get the free kick inside their own half, taken by Bangura into Sadiq, and then square for Smets. Comes up towards the halfway line and then plays it out to the left hand side for Kayembe. Medina goes inside and ahead of him. Across comes Suter.
Oh, wow.
Tavernier catch him just as he moved into the penalty area. That is a question being asked by the Genk players. Play still goes on as Medina stays down inside the penalty area. I thought Tavernier might have clipped him as they both chase the ball into the penalty area. Comes anyway for Roshovsky, who sends it left-footed over the top, and that will be checked as well by VAR, and Rangers could be on the end of another decision here to go against them as Medina just chased the ball into the box. It was just a tangle of legs with Tavernier, but Tavernier was behind him, and if he's deemed to have clipped him, then it could well be a penalty. VAR.
Well, we need a better. I mean, it looked, obviously it's on the far side of the pitch from us, so it was difficult to see where or when the contact happened. Definitely in the box, definitely Tavernier. He was ahead, Medina, of Tavernier. He goes to ground now. We've only had one replay and it was rubbish in terms of seeing what's there for us, but hopefully we'll get a better replay in a minute or so.
From where we're sitting, it looked as if an arm went out, you know, just to, you know, where it's to grab, where it was just to feel, you know, to nudge him off balance, but an arm went out there.
And he stayed down because when he didn't see it.
There you go, there's the arm.
Oh, it's not the arm, I think it's
the legs, isn't it?
The arm's not enough. The arm's not enough. No. The question is there a clip on his heels as he is driving? It's definitely not for the arm. Maybe another look at that. But
referee not yet been brought across to the monitor, so VAR still having a check.
Yeah, when Medina goes to ground, Suter's come across to help block, and he pretty much smashes his head into Suter. That's why he stayed down. But yeah, I mean, it's just whether or not there is a clip of the heels or the ankle here. Which
speaking to the two captains again, the referee, presumably passing on the information he's getting from the VAR, but Tavernier's got to be a worried man here. Definitely was a tangle of legs between him and Medina, who had got goal side of him. The ball was slotted through and he's inside by Kayembe.
Well, I mean, he would have no reason really to throw himself to the ground.
Across.
Yeah, there must be a clip here.
And well, the last time the VAR suggested he came and had a look, he didn't award the penalty to Rangers, instead deciding that Tavernier had a little shove in the back of Kayembe. This time he's got to decide whether Tavernier looks from the still like he does catch him. I mean, again, it's accidental, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is given.
Because what happens is Tavernier kicks his heel or the side of his boot, and then that disrupts his stride pattern, which makes him trip himself up, if you know what I mean. But there is contact
it's
on
the
his
initial
heel.
contact from Tavernier, and it's whether it's accidental or not. Here he comes, the referee Chermiti. There's no point in Chermiti talking to the referee, which is what the referee's telling him. On he comes and points to the penalty spot. Genk come up, first half injury time penalty here. Tavernier, the man penalised, and Genk will have a big opportunity here before the interval to move in front.
It's really unfortunate because Tavernier's not meant it. They're both running kind of side by side. He's just slightly ahead as Medina. Tavernier catches him without meaning it. He then trips himself up because his stride pattern's altered and goes to ground. I mean, by the letter of the law, he has touched him in the box, which has made him go down.
There's an arm, there's a slight clip, but the one thing is Tavernier's been caught. You know,
exactly. He's goal side. He's let him get goal side on, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's poor defending.
And it looks like it's going to be O to step up and take this one.
And he's not had a good night so far.
He's definitely not.
1-4 of his 5 meetings with Rangers as a Celtic player, didn't score. An opportunity here as a Genk player to change that as Medina continues to get treatment for a head knock that he took as he collided with Suter. Boos ring around Ibrox as O steps up from 12 yards. Can he get the better of Jack Butland in stoppage time? Here he comes. Oh, saved by Butland. It's going to break, and Rangers managed to get it clear. Huge moment for Rangers as O is denied from the spot. Magical save from Jack Butland as he guessed right.
Oh no, what's happening now?
What is happening now?
That's a good question. Is going to retake? Has he jumped? He is ahead of the line. Do you know that? I think he's come off his line.
The referee is it's a potential penalty check. I think it's for when the rebound looked like it was going to fall for Stoikers, and I think maybe Magoma was in there ahead of him. I know that's over. That's not going to be a penalty. So Rangers 0, Genk 0. Fairly dramatic end to this first period, which had been pretty uneventful for large swathes of it. But Rangers reduced to 10 men after Diamondi's red card, and now all of a sudden the crowd find their voice in adversity, although Jack Butland is kept on level, denying O from the penalty spot.
Poor penalty, Alistair, it really was. He goes for power, he doesn't get any real angle on it. It's a really comfortable height for Jack Butland.
Here they come again though. Kayembe into the box. He goes down, still in play. Raskan nudges him. Now Raskan goes down. Rangers can't get it clear. Stoiker's shot's blocked. Rangers need the half-time whistle, I think that's for sure. They've played almost 8 minutes of injury time here at Ibrox, with all sorts of stoppages in the last few minutes. Not least that VAR check for the eventual penalty award. Genk continue in possession, but there is the half-time whistle. Well, boos ring out, but goodness knows what they're for. It could be for any number of things. But Rangers still level in the tie, despite having gone down to 10 men after a dreadful Mohamed Diamondi challenge in the middle of the park on El Wadi, who has been one of the standouts for Genk. That wasn't the end of the first half drama, as Tavernier, after a VAR check, was adjudged to have clipped Medina inside the penalty area, but the former Celtic man was denied by Jack Butland from the spot. Butland guessed right, it wasn't, as Stephen says, a great penalty, but Butland had to guess correctly, and he did so to make the save. John Suter almost scored early on for Rangers. His header was somehow cleared off the line by the captain, Brian Heyman, and at the other end, blazed over just a minute later. A great chance that was, put it over the crossbar before Hroszowski struck the post for Genk, who have been the better side and now have a man advantage for the second half. But at the interval at Ibrox in this first Europa League match of the season. It is Rangers 0, Genk 0.
Rangers versus Genk
in the Europa League.
Live on Sports Sound.
He sticks it away!
Scottish football lives here.
Wow, no shortage of talking points at Ibrox. We'll get to them just shortly. 2 games kicked off at 5:45. Go Ahead Eagles 0, FCSB 1, Lille 2, Bran 1. Half-time scores: Aston Villa 1, Bologna 0. John McGinn with the opening goal there for Villa, who've really struggled this season. Ferencváros 0, Victoria Pilsen 1. Ferencváros down to 10 men. Rangers 0, Genk 0. Rangers also down to 10 men. FC Salzburg 0, FC Porto 0, Stuttgart 0, Celta Vigo 0, Utrecht 0, Lyon 0, and Young Boys 1, Panathinaikos 3. Andy Halliday alongside me here in the studio. Before we start to go into specific incidents, overall, your thoughts on that first half performance from Rangers?
Well, I thought it was imperative for Rangers to start the game fast, and what does that look like? It's aggressive off the ball, try to be front foot, try to force turnovers and unsettle Genk, and on the ball playing quick, playing with a purpose, playing with intensity, playing with speed. And I don't think it's been either or throughout the full first half. I think Genk looked like the more comfortable side. We had Thomas Buffel on before talking about how fragile this Genk side have looked, and they've not kept a clean sheet in any game this season. Rangers haven't even looked like scoring out with the John Souttar header that manages to get cleared off the line. And then obviously there's massive talking points within it. But
let's go through them one by one. Let's go through them one by one then. So let's look then at, first of all, 37 minutes, a Rangers penalty shout.
Well, do you know what, Kenny? Every year I don't even know what the handball law looks like. Even though they make these slight significant changes, slight or significant changes, I feel as if you'll see 2 incidents, and 1 week it's a penalty and 1 week it's not. Now, for me, I wouldn't like that to be seen as giving a penalty, given he's backtracking and he's, what is it, half a yard away by the time it leaves the head and strikes his arm. But I don't agree with how they came to the conclusion. I don't think there's enough of a push there as an infringement to James Tavernier. So as much as I think ultimately the right decision's been made, I don't agree with how they came
for the wrong reason. It was interesting to see him explaining it actually to both captains, the referee there. So 41 minutes, I'm guessing this is a straightforward conversation, and we've spoken a lot about the pressure on Russell Martin. The camera keeps panning to him on the touchline. He's kind of on his knees, head in his hands on his head. He's really going through the emotions as you'd expect there, but there is nothing he can do with that stupidity from Mohamed Diamandé.
Kenny, I'm a massive fan of Mohamed Diamandé, but obviously, given the toxicity towards the manager, I think certain players are going under the radar and getting away with it a little bit. I can't believe the form of Mohamed Diamandé this season. I think he's been extremely underwhelming, and I actually thought he started this game extremely poor. I thought he was really loose in possession. I thought he caused some unforced turnovers for Rangers, but the decision to lunge into that tackle in that area of the pitch when there's probably a 60-40 against it, you can even go and win that ball. I mean, it's just gave Rangers and Russell Martin a complete mountain to climb going into this second half, and they obviously nearly get punished with the penalty in the last minute as well.
Yeah, great save from Jack Butland. The correct decision to award the penalty?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's quite harsh given that James Tavernier, he's just in a running action, there's no intent there, but as you know, it doesn't matter if it's accidental or not. So yeah, I can see why the penalty was given, but you know, it's crazy how football works. You're talking about Mohamed Diamandé and his lack of form. I don't think any Rangers outfielder had a lack of form more than Jack Butland last season, but this season he's been Rangers standout performer by a country mile, and he's kept the scores level for Rangers going into the second half.
Tom English is alongside our commentary team and on the gantry there at Ibrox. Tom, what have you made of that first half?
Well, I think Rangers are lucky that it's 0-0. I'm not sure it's going to stay 0-0 for much longer as the way they're playing. The space that they're giving El Ouadi, Magoma is all over the place. El Ouadi is in acres of space. And when Genk hit the post, El Ouadi was in loads of space at the back post. Magoma just walked away from him. I mean, it's just no defensive discipline from Magoma at all. He's very good going forward, but he just doesn't have the discipline to be playing that role. I agree completely with Andy's analysis of the penalty that wasn't, and it's I think it's a grim performance from Rangers. I just think they're just kind of off the pace. A lot too many of their players are taking too much out of the ball. I think defensively they're suspect. I feel for Trimiti up front. He's running around. He's big. He's fast. He's very keen. He's getting no service whatsoever. He's trying to get involved, but it's just not happening. And 0-0. It's actually a good halftime outcome for Rangers, but it's grim otherwise. And the Diamande one, like I've seen Diamande play really, really good games for Rangers, but I haven't seen one for a while. And that, again, we're talking about defensive discipline. We're talking about discipline. He's completely lost it there, and he's sold his team down the river, because they will possibly lose this game now because they're down to 10, and that was just brainless. It was utterly brainless from Diamande, and there's too much of that in his game. There's too much of that impetuous stuff in his game for him to be a regular player for Rangers. He's going to let you down, and I've seen him let him down again.
It's been a poor performance, Stephen, hasn't it, from Rangers in that first half. We spoke about the importance and building some momentum after that weekend victory over Hibs in the Cup, but they've just not looked at it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think potentially they could be doing things quicker, certainly on the ball. The movement off the ball at times as well isn't brilliant, but for me, I just feel they don't look like a particularly threatening team when they're on the attack. You're never thinking to yourself, now you look at when Genk picked up space and attacked, they attacked with real speed, real authority, and they were dynamic. With Rangers, as Derek mentioned in commentary, it's an extra pass. It all looks a wee bit programmed and a wee bit obvious, and it's easier enough for the Genk defence to kind of suss it out. They're in a shape, they're not getting moved particularly, there's no real threat in behind, and most of the threats come down the left hand side when the delivery again into the box hasn't been particularly good. So they're lacking invention for me, Rangers, in the first half. Defensively, switching off. I mean, Tavernier, of course, for the penalty kick, and Migoma 2 or 3 occasions, and the wider areas has looked suspect. So it's not been a good performance from Rangers, but what they have to take is the scoreline, as Tom says, because they could easily have, I mean, you didn't mention the chance there. I mean, that is an absolute sitter. Any striker, his movement's perfect, the ball's perfect. Get your head over the top of the ball and put it low, and even if it doesn't go in a corner, because of the pace the ball's coming at, if you get a decent enough contact in it, it's out about the keeper's feet, it's got a massive chance of getting in the net. You just got to hit target. He's had a really poor half his own. He's probably wanting to take that penalty to kind of get rid of the nightmare of the miss. I'll take it because I've had the big miss. Steps up, and it's an awful penalty. Alright, it's a decent enough save from Jack Butland, but perfect height. He went for pace, didn't get any direction on it. So for me, Genk have looked far more dangerous, as I said, in an attacking sense, and they've been untroubled really defensively.
They like Genk look a really good team, and they're not a really good team, but Rangers are making them look like a good team, and all the confidence is on Genk's side. They've had chance. I mean, how it's 0-0 is bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, they're better than their league position. I think we've been misled. I think at the weekend, I think they performed pretty well. You can see they've got good players. The boy Hyman in the middle of the park, the captain, he's different class. The fullbacks, the quality, the energy, and they put the balls into the balls. Thankfully, O's had an absolute nightmare tonight. You know, he should be getting in at half time a hat trick. Thankfully, he's not. Jack Butland again coming up with a save, but it's a poor penalty. But yeah, you're expecting a lot more from Rangers in terms of getting the ball forward a little bit more quicker. They just take far too much time to put the ball into the box. When you've got a 6'4" striker, get the ball into the box. You know, you might not win the first ball or even the second ball, but you know, you just try to create a little bit of havoc, create something out of nothing, and Rangers are doing nothing.
We've just watched, Andy. I was watching your reaction, the replay of the Diamande challenge. When you see it slowed down, it was just horrific.
Yeah, and Elowadi's extremely lucky because his foot's actually planted when Diamande makes contact with him, and it is. I mean, it's shin high. It's not even ankle high. So It's a crazy challenge, and do you know what? Russell Martin will take a lot of criticism, and you know, quite rightly so, for some of the performances and what people say about the style of play, but you can't legislate for that.
No.
That's an experienced Ivorian international getting sent off for a needless tackle in the middle of the pitch in a game where, yes, Rangers haven't been great, but they're still 0-0. Now they're going into the second half with it all to do. And I'm listening to the guys talk about players, and it was Derek was talking about Chimay there. I said at the start that, you know, when you've been bought for £8 million, you're getting judged, and you're getting judged straight away. I mean, how can you even judge Chimay?
He's had nothing.
He's had nothing to work with. Rangers full possession has basically been with their two centre halves, and any time it goes forward, there's no real purpose to try and get in the box and get bodies into the box and try and trouble Genk.
Yeah, Andy Moores, he's not, you know, keeping the width. He's coming in a little bit closer to Shermetti, but he's been way off it as well. He's been really poor, and I get everything. He's 18-year-old, and you know, he's technically supposed to be a very gifted player, but it's nice like this, you got to show what you're all about. That's why you've come up to Rangers to play games, but he's not shown it. He's been extremely poor, and I tell you what, I questioned it at the start of the game. I thought Ant-Man should have been there, but again, it's down to the manager. The manager's made that call, but he's been extremely poor so far.
Yeah, well, I said to Kenny just before we came back on air for half time, I'd be surprised to see Mikey Moore come out for the second half. I think Russell Martin's going to be forced into changes anyway, given Diamandi's red card. But yeah, I thought it was another half of football that's passed Mikey Moore by, and any kind of opportunity he did have to get secure possession or burst forward or create opportunities, I think he's been really loose. And when you see it back, the chance it does fall to him in the box, I mean, Nico Raskin must be going off his head, because
I thought he was just going to step on it, Andy.
It's fell perfectly onto his right foot in a brilliant position, Tomo, to just guide into the far corner, and Mikey Moore steams in on his weaker side and just drags a shot wide, and out with that, John Soot ahead of that is the only real opportunity the Rangers have had to punish him. But I fully expect changes at half time, and I think Mikey Moore's going to be one that's sacrificed.
What else do you think, Stephen, here we're looking at the manager at half time?
I don't know. I mean, really, what do you do in this situation? Because they've really struggled to create anything with 11 men on the pitch. So do you just try and get out of here with a 0-0? Now, you're pretty much guaranteed that Genk are going to create chances in the second half. And, you know, if they create as good chances as they did in the first, they're likely to take one. So I would be thinking he'll just try and sit in a 4-4-1 and just try and make things difficult and narrow and just try and see the game out, because it was hard enough a job with 11 men and they weren't doing a particularly good job of doing that, but with 10, you know, it's going to be really, really difficult for them.
Connor Barron, you've got to get energy, you've got to get legs on there. Somebody that's going to get about the park, you know, go and work his socks off. I think they'll go for Connor Barron, bring him on.
Tom, what do you think we learn about Russell Martin tonight? Because the Diamandi thing, nothing he can do about that, and Diamandi's been poor this season, as Andy was saying there. But he's gone with Moore, Mikey Moore starting the game. I don't think he's shown enough, certainly not tonight. But prior to tonight, to want selection in such a big game, I mean, he just hangs on for a draw here. I mean, what does he do?
Well, look, I mean, we talk about Mikey Moore, and yeah, he's had a poor half, and he has some pretty poor time of it since he's been here. But Ant-Man, despite one game, apart from one game, hasn't done enough to get in the team either. So I think he's got a problem on that side of the pitch. He needs to fix it. I think Ant-Man is coming on by the looks of it. So that is a change, and Andy was right. So I don't know, like we're going to have to see a bit of character here now.
Yeah.
And this is a big test for Rangers. A 0-0 draw would be a good result at this point, but they're under the cosh. They're one man down and they're not playing well, and the team against them playing with a lot of confidence.
Well, the teams are back out at Ibrox. Time to get back to our commentary team. Rangers against Genk in the Europa League with Stephen Thompson, Derek Ferguson and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks to you, Kenny. Mikey Moore is confirmed as the player who's making way for Oliver Ant-Man, so clearly that's a like for like change. You'd imagine that in the centre of the park that Telo Asgar is going to be asked to play just a little bit deeper than he did first half. He and Nico Raskin are going to have to cover an awful lot of ground as Rangers prepare to get the second half back underway here at Ibrox, with Nico Raskin up against his countryman, about to kick us off here, and he goes all the way back to Jack Butland, who had a big part to play in that first period. As Andy was saying, he's been one of, if not Rangers' absolute standout performers, although that's not a particularly high bar this particular season, it has to be said. Rangers have a throw-in early on, right hand side, to be taken by James Tavernier. If they could somehow get a goal from somewhere, Rangers, something to cling on to, it would be absolutely massive for Russell Martin if he can get out of this with a positive result. But I guess even a draw does go down as a positive at this stage. But let's see how they negotiate this second period as Cornelius gets it back to Jack Butland to blast it over the halfway line, looking for Chermiti. He's beaten to it by Smets, but it comes back to Chermiti. Smets again though gets the better of him, and the ball's worked back to the goalkeeper Van Kornbrugge, and Genk will bring the ball forward from the back, and it's the captain who cleared off the line in spectacular fashion from John Suter in the early stages of this game. That could have been very different had he managed to put Rangers in front at that stage. Here's Heyman once again with a lovely diagonal out to the right hand side to Elowadi, who is again in a very advanced position. Rangers snuff out the danger on that occasion, and Raskan picks up and tries to move forward down the left hand side. A couple of players round about him.
He's getting nothing on now.
No option whatsoever there.
I mean, what does he do in that situation? He's getting pressed by 2-3 players. Chermiti hasn't worked the side. Now, the one thing he's going to have to do is whenever the ball goes to a full back, you've got to go over to that side.
Here come Genk down the right hand side. Tavernier sliding in and winning that challenge well, and plays it up to Chermiti. Now Rangers need to get bodies up in support. Antman to the right hand side and then back with Tavernier. Again Chermiti tries the lay-off, doesn't really come off, but then he manages to keep the ball and then flights it out to the left hand side, and Gassama does him a favour by brilliantly bringing the ball under control and steps in off the left hand side. And the Rangers fans appreciated the effort at least there from Chermiti. Now it's Magoma left hand side. That's a ball into the box. It might come there. It does come for Oscar, and he lashes it well off target on the left foot from about 15 yards out. Again, just needed a bit more composure there from the Norwegian, otherwise Rangers could have been in front. But as it stands, it's Rangers 0, Genk 0.
It falls absolutely perfectly for him. You know, he's walked around about a penalty spot. It's all about keeping the ball down. It's about the technique, just leaning back and just slices it. You know, he's got to do far better than that. Just keep the ball down, just concentrate, and it just at least hit the target. You've got an opportunity, you know, to take a surprise league. But do you know, I get the feel now as well, you know, because I think the Rangers players will be a little bit more comfortable now, because they're not expected to go on and win this game, and sometimes it's crazy how football works. They've maybe relaxed a little bit, they'll start popping the ball about even with 10 men and maybe have a better outcome.
Almost look like Rangers are playing a back five at the moment with Antman as the right wing back, but here comes, just flicks it between his legs. Tavernier coming in almost as the right centre back, but maybe that's just because Genk were pushing so many players forward there. Butland has the ball back in his possession at the edge of his 6-yard box and just rolls out short to Suter. Suter clips it up to Chermiti on the halfway line. Decent first touch, but a good challenge from Smets as well. He's done well so far. The left centre back, and there's a shot at goal there from Medina. Butland pushes it away, comes out to Kayembe. Kayembe keeps it alive. Butland has to save once more. Falls to the edge of the box. Magoma makes the block. Then Hroshovsky's blocked as well. Still the chance might be there, and it's blasted wide eventually by Kayembe. My goodness, a flurry of opportunities there for Genk. Butland saving twice, another couple of efforts blocked as the Rangers goal leads a charmed life. Still Rangers 0, Genk 0.
Yeah, the first one's a shot from the edge of the box, and I felt as though Butland should have done slightly better with it. He kind of palms it away, it was dipping a bit. Then there's a shot comes in, it's blocked. A second shot comes in, blocked. A bit of a scramble. A third shot then poked wide to the post.
Goal kick Rangers is the end result of all that. Butland probably could have dealt with the initial shot better, and that led to a whole host of opportunities. Here's Chermiti back to Antman. Antman for Raskan, and out to the left hand side to Magoma. Magoma crossing the halfway line out to Gassama, young Frenchman up against Elowadi, comes in field. Magoma still out to the left hand side of him, about 30 yards from goal. back to Raskin, and now it's out to Magoma. Magoma takes a touch, thought about putting that in, and he cuts back on his right foot, sends that one in, cleared by Kayembe before Antman can get there. Bangura under, and Medina under a bit of pressure there from Tavernier. Tavernier sticks the foot in, plays it forward, but falls for Kayembe, and now it's Bangura midway inside his own half, out to the right hand side for El Awadi. El Awadi leaves that one. It's lifted over the top there by Stoikers. Now it's Frashowski. He's got O in the middle. This time can O finish? No, he knocks it past the post on the stretch. To be fair, he really was stretching for that one, but it's another real chance for the Korean to net a goal here at Ibrox, but it's still 0-0.
I mean, there might be a suggestion offside with the run. Either that or he's timed it perfectly. But the ball in for, would you go with your left foot there? Would you?
Nah,
a big slide.
He's got to get there. I think Frashowski just on. I think he times his run just onside. But again, I think he's got to do better. You know, there's only one place the ball's going, so he should already be there.
That's another let off for Rangers, no doubt. 51 minutes played and it's still goalless, but Genk putting on the pressure. Rangers down to 10 men with Diamonde sent off in the final few minutes of the first period for a very, very crude and dangerous tackle. There was absolutely no doubt in the referee's mind, or really anyone else's, as to whether it merited the red, as Hayden picks up in the middle of the park. Now Bangura closed down by Raskan, but Genk keep possession. It's Hayden once more dropping into the left back position. Asgar puts him under a little bit of pressure. Back to the goalkeeper it goes. Left footed, he clips it up over the halfway line. Can't get there. Cornelius heads it down. Puts his head there where Tavernier tried to hook it clear.
He's having a right back night as well.
Well, did well there against Tavernier initially, but then overran it, and Cornelius able to make the interception.
Fair play to Cornelius, fair play to Cornelius for spotting the danger and coming over. But after he's put his head in and got the initial breakaway, they've got a 2v2, and he just takes a big old clumsy touch that allows Cornelius to come over and put it away for the corner.
I must admit, I did find it rather surprising. He was being linked with a £20-odd million move to Stuttgart in the summer, which apparently collapsed because of something that came up in the medical. But he's pretty much played as we were used to seeing him play for large parts of his time at Celtic. Not exactly a massive goal threat, but there's time yet. 52 and a half on the clock, and it's 0-0 still between Rangers and Genk, as Genk again come forward. Kayembe will do well to catch that. He has caught it though, and Butland though able to take that under no pressure. 6 yards out, pulls it out to Tavernier. Tavernier just gets away with the first touch, and he's gone down, and his fellow skipper Heyman, I think, felt he was a bit unlucky, because Tavernier realised he'd taken a couple of heavy touches there as he came in the middle of the park, and does buy the free kick, which Rangers had no special rush to take at this stage. 53 minutes in, 0-0. You listen to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live Sports Extra, as Antman picks up on the halfway line, comes in off the right flank, goes back to Suter. Suter short to Tavernier. Tavernier backed away, comes to Butland at the edge of his area. He just knocks it to Cornelius, the Canadian international, out to the left hand side to Magoma. Magoma's got strikers to deal with. Plays it forward to Gassama, back the way to Raskan, back again to Cornelius, and square for Suter, just outside his penalty area, out to the right hand side where Asgar's come, and then he just lifts it over the top, looking for the run of Antman. And his opposite number 18, Kayembe, and a foot race there. Kayembe gets there just ahead of him. There's under pressure though down at the corner flag, twisting one way then the other, trying to get it clear, eventually manages to do so. Brashowski's done really well to find Bangura in the middle of the park. Now it's out on the right hand side with Stoikers forward for Now it looks like he might have been offside, but here he is up to the edge of the box. With a shot, with a goal. Eventually finds the back of the net, the flag stays down, and after a series of misses for Kyung-Jung he has found the back of the net for Genk and given them the opening goal. If this eventually counts, Genk have finally got the breakthrough. It's Rangers 0, Genk 1.
Well, one thing he's getting booked, that's 100%. For sure. He might even get sent off for that celebration. I tell you what, it's the hardest finish.
It has been his most difficult chance. Agreed.
That's why I'm looking at you, Tom. And then, you know, he strikes it in. It's a wonderful ball from the back. Was it number 7?
Krzyzewski does ever so well to link the play initially.
It's a brilliant ball, brilliant.
It's going to be tight. We'll need to wait in the decision. But I mean, Rangers defensively, Suter was caught out of position higher up the pitch. There's a massive gap which O exploits. He takes a couple of good touches. He's on his left foot this time and finds the bottom corner. It's a good finish, but is he going to be on or offside is the question.
He's going to get a booking, that's for sure.
That's just frustration because he's had an absolute torrid.
Well, it's relief, isn't it?
Both.
But what have the goals disallowed? You know, he just picked up a booking for absolutely nothing.
Doesn't look like it's going to be though. Maybe they've already done the check.
Yeah.
Well, there's I've not seen any lines being drawn or anything, but the referee blows a whistle and Rangers are behind. O has found the goal to separate the sides just after I said he was displaying some of his poorer characteristics in this game so far, but he has popped up with a goal, and that is why perhaps Stuttgart were looking at him in the summer. Yeah, certainly would have been a tight decision, but VAR will have checked that. And the goal allowed to stand. So Rangers trail, 10-man Rangers trail here. And they've got a massive job in their hands to take anything from this game. And already, if you lose your opening Europa League game at home, you're going to be struggling to make a big impact as Gassama's taken down right on the edge of the box there. Now, the referee's decision, I think it was just outside. It's definitely going to be a yellow card there for Sadiq, who came across to make the challenge. Gassama poked the ball just about a yard outside the box. It's a very, very clumsy challenge, to say the least, there from the centre-back. And the Rangers fans wanted more, but it is just a yellow card for Sadiq, and a free kick to Rangers just left of the penalty area.
Clumsy's the word, Alistair. I mean, Gassama's pace takes the touch past him. He's all in as Sadiq because he's thinking he's winning it. He's not got the pace, he doesn't get there first. Gassama gets there first and he absolutely wipes him out, but there's no malice in it for me. He's going for the ball, and as much as the Rangers fans probably would like to see it as a red card, I think a yellow's the right call.
And you're just hoping he's not done some damage to Gassama, you know, because it certainly was clumsy. He's a big lad, you know, he goes in with force, so Gassama would certainly have felt that.
So Genk will have a bit of defending to do here, just a couple of minutes after taking the lead here at Ibrox through the former Celtic striker Young-Woo Oh, the Korean who left Celtic after a year and a half there last summer. 12 goals in his first season at Genk, and he has notched his third of the season here at Ibrox tonight after a series of misses, including one from the penalty spot when Butland denied him. But as Stephen was saying, that's pretty much the most difficult opportunity he's had, and he tucked it away pretty well.
Full credit to Stuckers though for the pass. It was an excellent pass, and the bit of link-up play before it from Krzyzewski equally good. So yeah, all round a very good goal from Genk's point of view.
Gassama eventually back on his feet after some medical attention. He won't need to leave the field of play, given that Sadiq was booked for the challenge on him, but he might need to leave the field of play for a spell, because he looks like he's still pretty uncomfortable here. Rangers will not want to lose him, that's for sure. One of the few bright spots in their season has been Jedi Gassama, as Tavernier prepares to take this free kick, which is in a very promising position, you would have to say, just a yard outside the penalty area, about 13-14 yards maybe from the byline, left hand side of the box, as Tavernier prepares. He could try and go for goal here, just hoping that it takes maybe a slight glance on its way through to put the goalkeeper off.
I think that's what he'll do, Al.
Yeah, well,
I think from that angle he's certainly got to go from goal, hoping maybe somebody just gets across the keeper's vision.
Rangers looking for an equaliser here, but Chermiti has come together, I think, with Kayembe off the ball. Kayembe's now lying on the deck inside his own 6-yard box, and the referee wants a word with the big striker. Actually, it's Sadiq who went down, the man who's just been booked. And Chermiti just gets a talking to there, and then Sadiq will also be spoken to now that he's back on his feet.
Nothing in it, I was watching it the whole time.
Although you're coming at it from a number 9's point of view, aren't you?
Nah,
the big number 9 who looked like nothing better than shoving defenders about. Here's Tavernier then with the free kick. Tries to fire it in low, comes off the wall, gets it back, sends to the back post. Chermiti back across goal, claims again for handball. I think the referee didn't see anything. I didn't see anything myself, I have to admit, but play continues as Magoma sends it back in. It'll come for Chermiti once more, right hand side of the box. Foot in there from Bangura. Chermiti tries to flash it across goal, it comes off Bangura and behind for a corner. Any sign of a handball for either of you?
No, didn't see anything there, Al. In real tech, but I tell you what, just saw a replay, but I don't think so.
It's above the t-shirt line, isn't it?
Yeah,
definitely shoulder.
So nothing doing there, but it will be a Rangers corner this time from the right hand side. Well, it's come up as a potential penalty check, but presumably that, yeah, it's already over. It's done. Tavernier then from the right hand side. The Rangers fans dismayed once again by the decision from the officials, but Tavernier, a poor free kick. Let's see if his corner's any better, into a decent area, but away by Heyman. Tavernier picks up once more right hand side, sends it back in. Shooter's still up there, can't get anything on it, and Genk will try and break here through Medina, who looks like he's got a fair bit of pace. Back goes Antman. Medina still has it though. Medina holding the ball up, now he goes for goal. It's a dreadful effort for Medina, whose teammates, about 3 or 4 of them, had made up a lot of ground to stay with him and support him, and now Medina stays down. He was a player who went down with a head knock that led to the Rangers penalty, or in the incident with the Rangers penalty after Suter collided with him, and he's stayed down holding his head again, and might need to be replaced if this is some sort of concussion related incident.
His teammates should be shirking him because they've ran at full pace, 60, 70 yards.
The ball, wasn't he?
Yeah, Tom, he got him support, and he elects to shoot from 30 yards out and gets it way wrong.
It was a lightning quick counter though. Again, they've been good at that all night. When they attack, they do so with pace. They're forceful, but yeah, wrong decision in the end.
Rangers 0, Genk 1, 62.5 minutes on the clock. The goal scored on 55 by returning to Glasgow to score against Rangers, which he failed to do in his time at Celtic. Looks like Genk are going to be forced into the change here, with Medina apparently unable to continue. Looks like it's going to be Adedeji Sternberg to come on as Medina makes his way off the park. Looks like it is some sort of issue related to that head knock. He's still got a bit of blood on his shirt as he makes his way off behind the goal, and indeed Noah Adedeji Sternberg comes on for closing 27 minutes or thereabouts. There will be a goal kick to Rangers then. They trail by a goal to 0 against the Belgians, the 14th place side in the Belgian Pro League, but they are giving a good account of themselves tonight. Chermiti does well there against Sadiq, now tries to bound forward. Bangura's back with him. Gassama picks up left hand side. Chermiti just dropped to the edge of the box. Gassama's gone for it, it's just wide. That is not far away from Gassama. Trademark cut in off the left hand side onto the right foot, goes for the back post, and it wasn't far away from Gassama.
Yeah, and that's what he's all about, you know. As soon as he picks the ball out down that left hand side, just try to cut in, isn't he? You know, Awidi, you know, I think he goes for the challenge, just pulls out it, can't touch him, he's in the box, and again tries to find that far left hand corner, and just goes past the post. So a little bit better from Rangers.
Chermiti did well in the build up. winning the ball back, showed a lot of endeavour, and then released Gassama.
Sadiq has it at the back for Genk, who lead by a goal to nil here at Ibrox. Now Bangura back to Smets at the back for Genk, out to the left hand side for Heyman. He's been picking up that position an awful lot, central midfielder, but dropping into the left back position to play balls forward, and it's out for a throw-in now to Genk. Fairly well advanced into the Rangers area as Kayembe throws it back to Heyman. Now it's Smets, more or less on the halfway line, plays it square to Sadiq. Picked up by Stoikers, clips that forward, a lovely ball. El Awadi on the right hand side of the box, plays it into a decent area, but the offside flag is up. I'm not sure if it was against El Awadi or if it was against Adedeji Sternberg, but either way it's a Rangers free kick inside their own penalty area. Rangers 0, Genk 1, 65 and a half played, and few signs you would have to say that Rangers have what it takes to get back into this game as Cornelius plays it forward, looking for Gassama, but he's beaten to it by El Wadi, and he plays it into the area. Roshovsky can't get there ahead of Suter, and Suter plays it to Gassama, who's just clipped there by Stoikers, and it'll be a free kick to Rangers over on the far side, midway inside their own half, left hand side as they come forward.
I don't understand why they keep wanting to try and build from the back. You know, Genk are getting the press pretty well, they're on them. I think they should just go a little bit longer, a little bit more direct to Sharmiti. A little bit of confusion there.
Yeah, Antman and Oscar on different wavelengths as Antman tried to play the ball back to the Norwegian who hadn't made the run, and it's out for a throw-in instead to Genk, left hand side, midway inside their own half, to be taken by Kayembe. 1-0 the Belgians lead here. Kayembe looking for options. Down goes Hayden looking for a free kick. Well, I'm not sure who's given that, because the referee didn't give it. I'm not sure if that's the fourth official. Russell Martin's furious at that, but I mean, was there a nudge in the back there? Hayden went down, is it?
Not enough for me. I mean, Suter's putting him under a bit of heat. He takes a heavy touch and then throws himself to the ground, and unfortunately the ref didn't buy it initially. You're right, something's changed his mind.
I think it was the fourth official. He was certainly closest to it. The assistant didn't seem to say anything. The fourth official and Russell Martin still going at it hammer and tongs. Russell Martin not happy as Heyman just puts his boot back on. It did come off in that instant. Referee encouraging Genk to get on with it. Kayembe trying to take his time to allow his captain to lace his boots back up. Eventually it's taken into Bangura, back with Kayembe. Forces it to Heyman here, down the left hand side for the substitute Adedeji Sternberg. He bundled it out of play, and it will be a Rangers throw-in midway inside their own half, right hand side, to be taken by Tavernier. Rangers need something, and they need it soon. Midway inside the second half here, Suter knocks it straight out of play, and it will be a throw-in to Genk just in front of Torsten Fink's technical area. It's a result, if it stays this way, that he could very much be doing with as he tries to earn a bit more time in this particular position as Genk manager.
Just looks hard work for Rangers at the moment, doesn't it? You know, kind of huffing and puffing, they just can't get anything going. Yeah, they're down to 10 men, but still, you know, you could get some better passes, you could get forward, you could create a little bit of pressure. It just looks tough for them at the moment.
Stoikers clips in a lovely ball. Roshovsky's in behind here, tries to square it for it's number 2 for it's number 2 for Genk. It's another lovely ball over the top. Roshovsky got on the end of that. He was coming from an onside position, I'm fairly sure, and then he squared it, and this time simply could not miss as he forced it home from a yard out. It is Rangers 0, Genk 2.
Herzfoski, he's brilliant at that. He times those runs.
So many tonight in behind.
Yeah, he timed it absolutely perfect, and then he's got the end product as well. You know, there he goes. You just see him just curving his run. Whoa, it's tight again.
It's going to be tight.
Very tight
it's
again.
Going to be tight.
But he does the right thing. He goes a little bit early. He comes back.
His movement's brilliant. It's just if he's got it right or not. Oh, I mean, you say he couldn't have missed that, Al, but I mean,
he tried his best.
And he put himself and the ball into the net. Goal check underway. It's going to be tight, this one. But I mean, you're right to point it out. His movement tonight, in behind in terms of the runs, penetrating runs, far.
No
offside.
goal.
Oh, there you go.
That must have been extremely tight. So one counts because it was just on, the other chopped off because it was just off. So still Rangers 0, Genk 1, and that is a let off once again for Rangers. Can they take advantage of that as Cornelius takes a free kick out to this right hand side? With too much on it though, straight out of play. Antman couldn't keep it in. 20 minutes to play, and Rangers need as big a performance as they put in a long time to try and take something from this game. 20 minutes to save it.
As Derek points out though, it's difficult to see where that's going to come from. I mean, even there, Cornelius goes for a worldy 70-yard switch from a dead ball. Just get the ball up to Chermiti and get bodies round them.
Yeah.
See if you can pick up seconds in and around the box.
Here is Cornelius, 10 yards inside his own half. Plays it square to Suter. Suter quickly under pressure there. Out to Asgar, right hand side. He's also under pressure from Adedeji, who's fouled there by the winger. And it'll be a Rangers free kick just down in front of us to be taken by James Tavernier, midway inside his own half. Rangers with a really impressive recent Europa League records, quarter-finals last season before losing out to Athletic Bilbao, and of course finalists back in 2022. But this one looks like starting on a losing note, down to 10 men and a goal behind to Genk, who have been the better side throughout, even when it was 11 against 11. Better play from Rangers between Tavernier and Asgard, and now it's Asgard picking up on the halfway line. Now Tavernier takes over. Antman midway inside the Genk half. Again it's for Asgard, surrounded by Genk players, twisting one way then the other. Back to Suter, looking for a way out, looking for a through ball. A ball to a man in space. It's Magoma on the left hand side, twisting away from Stoikers. Wants an option. Raskin gives him it. Now it's back in field to Suter, but he's still inside his own half. It's Tavernier now. Likewise, 10 yards inside Rangers territory. Cornelius out to Magoma. Left flank for the fullback. Forward for Gassama. Gassama into Chermiti. Chermiti helps it forward again for Gassama on the left hand side. Now Rangers advance up against Sadiq, slides it forward. Magoma across goal. Oh, it's almost turned into his own net there by Smets. Instead it's behind for a corner. Didn't look like it went the other side of the post by much, but it did. 72.5 minutes played. Rangers 0, Genk 1.
It's the best passage of play from Rangers tonight. You know, they did work it forward well there. You know, a number of passes. Smets there just getting himself kind of a little bit confused there at that front post there. Could have been into his own net, but just got away with it.
Tavernier from the left hand side with the corner then. 73 on the clock. Rangers trail by a goal to 0 against Genk. Tavernier looking to change that here with a good delivery from the corner, and it comes near post. Raskam is trying to make that run, the keeper got enough on it, and then it's thumped clear up towards Adedeji Sternberg, and he gets it back, or does he, because Jack Butland's come out of his goal, and he's found a good pass here for Chermiti right hand side. He's got very little support up towards the penalty area. He comes moving infield away from a couple. Now he finds Asgard. Tavernier now helps out to the right hand side again, but that's cut out by Stoikers. And forwards come Genk once more through Adedeji Sternberg, and Stoikers once more left hand side. Looks to find the back post ball. It's over but it'll come for Rashowski. Away by Magoma, only as far as Bangura heads it down. Asgard's in the way. Was he caught there by Bangura? He was. Rangers will have the free kick at the edge of their own penalty area, and it's still after 74 minutes. Rangers 0, Genk 1.
It was another lightning quick break from Genk, this time down the left hand side. Tavernier trying to force a ball out wide to Antman. It gets intercepted, and within two passes they're right on top of you. Cross comes into the back post. It was cut back nicely, but I think think it was Suter that was in a good area just to clear. That's been a difference. I mean, you can see the supporters getting frustrated, and yes, we'll reiterate the Rangers are down to 10 men, but a lot of the passes are sideways, a lot of the passes are back the way. Yes, they're keeping possession of the ball, but it's a game they need to get back into, and the crowd just urging them to go forward.
Asgard's played a lot of balls back the way, hasn't he? And does so once more. Here's Cornelius midway inside his own half to Magoma. Magoma left hand side forward for Gassama, who looks like the one player that might just make something happen for Rangers, although his pass there for Raskan was slightly astray. It comes to Suter instead. Again, he's rather dwells in the ball, and the fans want him to move forward. Tavernier now looks to find Asgard. Sluggish though as he comes forward. No real desire to get on the end of that from the Norwegian.
It's hard to tell, isn't it, Al? Is that desire, or else is he just out on his feet? You know, there's 75 minutes were played. You know, it's kind of hard to tell that, isn't it? You know, because he should be able to get there, should be able to get the ball under control and get his team up the park.
The thing is, Tavernier had it in the middle of the park, and there seems still to be a confusion about where players need to be, or where Russell Martin wants them to be to receive passes. Not everyone seems to be on the same wavelength. Here come Genk forward. That's a better ball, could have had them free there. Elawadi has to check back on the halfway line now, and Rangers able to get back into something of a shape, but there still seems to be some sort of breakdown almost.
Yeah, it's not fluid. I mean, I think that's one thing that's very clear. At times you can see players lifting their heads, they're looking for options, and there just isn't the movement or the, you know, speed of thought to do things quicker. Everything's just laboured.
Smets at the back for Genk. We've got under 14 to play, albeit there'll be plenty of added on time as Butland collects possession at the edge of his box and gets it out to Cornelius. Rangers going to make some changes, I would imagine, fairly shortly, as Russell Martin and his coaching staff signal for some of the substitutes to come back from their warm-up. Here's Cornelius midway inside his own half, left hand side to Magoma. Magoma forward to Gassama. Rangers would bite your hand off for a point at this stage, wouldn't they? As Raskan is quickly closed down by Bangura, fouled by Bangura. Rangers have the free kick, quickly taken by the little Belgian. Suter now out to the right hand side for Antman. Can he try and get at Genk here? Comes forward, swings it in, it's a decent ball but doesn't quite reach Chermiti. Tavernier there for seconds. Asgard can't make anything of it, but it does come to Gassama at the edge of the area. Tries to get away from a couple of challenges. In slides the substitute, Adedeji Sternberg. Rangers still have it though. Gassama to the byline on the right hand side. Goes down under the challenge. Referee has a look. I think he's going to book Gassama here.
Yeah, that's my initial thought.
Yeah, that is the decision. Booking him for simulation. Didn't look like he went down pretty easily there.
And he's not complaining. Yeah, you can see it a mile off. And it's actually really good refereeing. Yeah, it's a die. The thing is, he's getting the ball. I think he's getting to the byline. He could just whip it across.
Tomo, you're absolutely spot on. All it takes is just a little touch out your feet and you could whip that across.
What's he
He
doing?
just took the easy option.
Genk are going to make a triple change themselves as Bojan Majowski and Joe Rothwell prepare to come on for Rangers. So changes are plenty in the offing as Adedeji Sternberg runs into Tavernier. Rangers get the ball back. They've got 12 minutes plus added on time to find an equaliser here. 1-0 lead trail against the Belgians. Genk as Tavernier forces it forward. Kagembe under pressure collides with Russell Martin as he's challenged by Chermiti. Conor Barron is also going to come on here for Rangers as Kagembe is helped to his feet by Russell Martin. So a plethora of changes.
Do you like it when they make 6 changes at once?
Absolutely not.
Favourite part of commentating.
We don't have a printed team sheet anymore. So anyway, Cornelius is off as Rothwell comes on. Oscar comes off to be replaced by Barron. And it's going to be Chermiti to make way for Majowski. So I don't mind too much about the Rangers changes, but I'll try and keep track of the opposition ones here as Ken and Kuba, Yusuf Irabi always going to be replaced by Irabi. He'll be roundly booed as he comes off. The other two players coming on, Ken and Kuba, Nicholas Sattelberger, as Ole slowly makes his way to the sidelines. Stoikers is going to be replaced as well, and he'll be replaced by Sattelberger.
It's a really good game, Stoikers.
Yeah,
And a standout in there, along with
final change is Bangura coming off as Nkuba comes on for him. So 3 changes apiece as we enter the final 10 minutes plus added on time, with Genk leading by a goal to nil. And still, Derek, you would have to say relatively few signs that Rangers have anything in them here to try and salvage a point from this tie.
Yeah, I was saying earlier there, Al, that it looks hard work for the players. I'm finding it hard work at times watching them, to be honest with you. Just feels like it's a bit of a struggle. It has been, and I get they're down to 10 men, but you know, still with 10 men you can always find a way. But it's as if Rangers just don't believe there is a way back into this game. That's just the feeling I get sitting here in the gantry watching it. Hope I'm wrong.
Rangers free kick for an offside as Genk trying to come forwards. Here's Megoma. Rangers have had to change formation at the back with Cornelius going off. They're having to somewhat go for broke as Barron is closed down. Now it's Rodwell. Effectively a 3 at the back with Megoma, Suter and Tavernier. Antman comes forward for Rangers up towards the edge of the area. They take a touch there as he went down. No, says the referee, as Genk will try and come forward. Rabi with a shove in the back there of Suter, and that'll be a free kick to Rangers. But, well, certainly taking a chance by taking off a centre back and throwing on more forward thinking players, as Suter plays it to Megoma at the back for Rangers into Raskan. Can Rangers find a goal from somewhere here in the closing stages and avoid defeat in this Europa League opener? Admin for Roswell, back the way to Tavernier on the halfway line. Now Suter just inside his own half, plays it short to Megoma. Megoma for Barrett, tries to sweep it out to Gassama. It's a good ball and Gassama brings it down. Good challenge though over on that far side by El Awadi. Now it's Kenan Kuba coming forward down that right hand side. He's fouled by Gassama, and Genk will have the free kick right over on that far touchline on the right flank as Genk come forward about 15-20 yards inside the Rangers half. Anyway, back into this for you, Tomo, for Rangers.
It's difficult to see. They've obviously changed their shape here. Now we'll see if it has an impact. There is going to be a bit of added time. I mean, Genk have probably lost a wee bit of steam themselves, I would say, in the last 10 to 15 minutes. Haven't looked quite as dangerous, certainly going forward. So Rangers have managed to do that part reasonably well, but can they go and add to that and be more of a threat? Certainly been positive in terms of the changes.
Genk have it, left hand side, knocked back by one of the substitutes there, Settelberger, and brought out of defence now by Sadiq, right hand side into the Rangers half. Raskan trying to close him down, but Rangers, who have been a man down since the end of the first half when Mohamed Diamonde was red carded for a really bad challenge, and they've been up against it ever since, although in truth Genk were the better side even when it was 11 against 11. 6.5 to play plus stoppage time. Rangers 0, Genk 1 as Kayembe picks up left hand side and slides it down the flank for Adedeji Sternberg. Challenged well by Tavernier, but it will be a Genk throw in on this near side. Genk looking for just a 4th victory of the season. Handman tries to bundle his way through there. I think that came off him last. It'll be a Genk throw in once more to be taken by Kayembe midway inside the Rangers half, left hand side as the Belgians come forward. into Arabi, but he's lost out to Tavernier. Back with Suter having to hurry to get it to Butland takes a touch, then just shuffles it out to Magoma, but he's beaten to it by Nkuba has possession right hand side for Genk, forced back the way, but does manage to get the ball into Krzyzewski, who's been highly impressive, one of a number of Genk players. Stevens pointed out all the standout performers have been in Genk colours this evening. 5.5 to play, Rangers 0, Genk 1.
So Rangers need to know their limitations. They're not good enough at the moment to play that style of football, to play balls across the 6-yard box.
He's just emptied it, Butland there. He's under pressure, just empty it.
Yeah, but he'll not, because it's he's obviously been asked to do that. Is he capable? I'm not so sure, Tomo.
Arabi and Barron come together. Arabi battling away to hold on to possession. Free kick goes Genk's way. I'm not sure that Barron was doing all that much more than Arabi was doing there, as they both just tried to hold on to possession. Arabi's
he's never missed gym day, tell you that.
No,
right
he's
now.
not. He's a big strong looking guy, isn't he?
Absolutely.
And held off Barron there as the free kick's taken and goes back the way to Smets. Rolls it back to the edge of the box for Van Krombrugge, who actually, when you reflect on the game so far, I don't think he's had a save to make. Obviously he was almost beaten by Suter's header, but he was saved by a goal line clearance on that occasion. Otherwise, can't think of anything that he's really had to do. That's not the first time Rangers have failed to really trouble the opposition goalkeeper this season, as Kayembe has it just inside the Rangers half. Majowski chasing shadows at the moment. He's asking people to try and get up with him to close Genk down, but
Rangers try to push up, keeping a high line, but you just get a feeling they're going to get caught by another run. I mean, Barvoski, the goal chopped off, just there couldn't be much in it, and you just feel that Rangers are going to get caught out that same type of run again.
Wouldn't be surprised, would you? In the closing 4 minutes plus added on time, throw into Genk down near the corner where their own fans are housed. 1,000 or so of them have made the trip here, and they're thoroughly enjoying what they're seeing tonight, if not for the most part this season, as Magoma makes a challenge and knocks it behind for a Genk corner over on the far side, right in front of those visiting fans who are preparing to continue the celebrations long into the Glasgow evening. As across to that far side goes Adedeji Sternberg to take the corner kick. Rangers trailing by 1-0 with just over 3 minutes plus added on time remaining, and the crowd beginning to thin out even more than it was at the start of the night. It wasn't a bad attendance, just not what you would normally expect at Ibrox in a Europa League night, as the corner swung to the edge of the box. It's going to come to Krzyzewski. It takes a clip off Magoma, who tried to get it clear, and it falls kindly for Jack Butland in the end, who is going to need to get rid of it here under the new 8-second rule. Does so to Tavernier, who plays it forward to Antman. Antman midway inside his own half, back to Tavernier, back to Butland once more. Rangers making heavy weather of this as they try to get it forward. Smets is there before Majowski. Tavernier heads it into the midfield for Barron. Barron gets it to Magoma, just outside his own penalty area, looking for options. He's had to play it short to Suter. Into the midfield it goes to Roswell. Roswell moves away from Krzyzewski and tries to get Rangers moving forward. Out to the left he goes, pokes it out to Gassama. Now Gassama looking to take on Elowadi. He's away from him. Gassama into the box on the left hand side. Can he pick out Raskan? Comes to Barron. Oh, it's over the top. It's a brilliant intervention from Smets. It was goal bound, but the defender stuck his body in the way, deflects it over, and it's still Rangers 0, Genk 1.
It's amazing what happens when you drive forward with a bit of purpose, a bit of energy. You play forward passes. I tell you what, when the ball falls to the bar on the edge of the box, you can't hit it any better.
It's going in, brilliant defending.
Barron denied what would have been a priceless Rangers goal there by the defending from Mattis Smets. Rangers have the corner left hand side, looking to salvage a draw here as Tavernier swings it in near post. It's met though by Arabi, who heads it clear, and it'll be picked up on that far side by Nkuba. Nkuba, here they come on the counter. It's Elowadi, needed to release that earlier. Now it comes out to the right hand side, and it's a poor attempt at a cross from Nkuba. Well, they could have released Adedeji Sternberg there, Elowadi, but he delayed his pass as Rangers get the goal kick taken by Butland for Tavernier. But Rangers coming as pretty much as close as they have all night to getting a goal there. Barron's goal bound shot blocked just short of the line by the intervention by Matt Smets, and it's still 1-0 to the visitors.
And what it was just Rothwell picking the ball up just inside his own half and deciding to drive forward with the ball, drive 20-30 yards, playing a pass forward, you know. And then you watch here, there's a by kick, and it's the fans that are urging the players to get the ball forward. The players should be taking ownership of that, you know, and saying, let's get the ball forward as quick as we could still, you know, get something out of this game, you know, which they haven't looked like for long periods. But you've got to keep believing. But that's the thing, it doesn't look as if Rangers have that belief that they can get anything out of this game.
Well, Genk have it left hand side as the fourth official prepares to show the board with added on time. Added Izzy Stenberg, 3 minutes only.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, feels like it should have been more than that. Rangers fans not happy as Genk prepare to make another substitution to take away a few more seconds. Genk in possession at the back. It's all the way back to Van Krombrugge, who clears left-footed up towards the halfway line. Kusama manages to get something on that. He's dragged back there by Kubak, and Rangers manufacture a late opportunity here to somehow grab the equaliser. On it's going to come Kostas Karetsas, and Rangers can be thankful they haven't seen any more of him.
Yeah, what a player.
Magnificent young player, and he's only going to get the final few minutes here in place of Froshovsky, who's done not badly himself, to be fair.
He's had a brilliant night. He's been absolutely outstanding. Froshovsky, really, really good. Non-stop energy. His runs, as Derek pointed out, in behind, been excellent all night. A star performer, but a young man that's coming on for him has got one big future.
Still just 17. Gave Scotland a real lesson at Hampden back in March as Rangers put the free kick up towards the edge of the area. Suter's up there, Heyman wins it though, and he's been given the free kick for the challenge by Suter. Both players down, hurt as a result of that. Now the Belgians taking exception to Suter's challenge. He gets up and tries to defend himself. The referee's going to have to sort all that out, but all this is just playing into Genk's hands here, and I think Heyman staying down and using a bit of his experience, just killing a few seconds at the end of this game as the injury time ticks away from Rangers. John Suter making a point to the referee that he did nothing wrong there, but the decision's already been made, and Suter been spoken to by the referee. El Awadi also got something to say on the matter, but that's been ironed out with no requirement for any further yellow cards, as Heenan looks to be absolutely fine. The captain is another one who's had a good game, and I think it's difficult to argue that Genk haven't deserved the victory this evening, Derek.
Yeah, absolutely. You're talking about Heyman there. I think he's been excellent. I think he's ran the show in the middle of the park. Lewandowski's just went off. That energy, that driving forward. The two full-backs have been excellent. All the best players have been in the white of Genk. They've controlled it for long periods. They just get a feeling, I keep going back to it, that the Rangers players don't believe they could win this game.
Butland takes a free kick, Derek, out to Antman on the right hand side. It could be last chance for Rangers. Antman puts it into the box. Majowski can't get there. Comes to Kusama, gets a good hit on it, but it's cleared by El Awadi only to the edge of the box. Arabi just thumps it clear at the second time. of Askin made a hash of his first effort. Butland returns it. Raskan can't get there. Magoma just helps it back to Butland again. He'll clear it forward once more. Antman will chase that. He'll do well to keep it in. He hasn't been able to. It's out for a throw-in to Genk. We've gone beyond the 3 minutes initially added on, although there was a further stoppage for the Suter Heyman coming together. But still not long to go here for Rangers as they trail by a goal to nil against Genk at home in the Europa League opener. They've got the ball back in their possession, but it's inside their own half. Roswell back to Magoma. They need to get it forward. It's Suter midway inside his own half. Has to check back inside. Has to go forward here. Magoma now, left hand side. This has got to be the last chance. It's Magoma wondering what to do. Plays it short down the left wing for Kusama. He's fouled. Rangers have the free kick here. Left hand side. There'll be a booking there for El Awadi. couldn't care less because his side are on the verge of a victory here. Butland's going up for this
This is
free
it.
kick. It's got to be. It's now or never. Rangers have got absolutely everyone in and around that penalty area. Can they somehow salvage a dramatic late point here? It's Tavernier over the free kick on the left hand side, midway inside the Genk half, right on the touchline. Needs to provide a bit of quality here, the Rangers captain, otherwise it's game over. And it comes from Tavernier, right on top of the keeper. Up he goes and clutches that under pressure from Butland, and the free kick goes the way of Genk, and it really wasn't the delivery that Tavernier required. And there's a full-time whistle. The boos ring out again. It's a familiar sound around Ibrox this season as Rangers lose once more. This time it's in the Europa League. A 1-0 defeat to the Belgians of Genk, and you have to say it's a deserved victory for the visitors, who did have a man extra for the second half and a bit of the first after Mohamed Diamondi's red card for a dreadful challenge at the end of the first half. But regardless of that, Genk were the better side pretty much from the off. Rangers created close to nothing throughout. John Suter header that was cleared off the line in the early stages was more or less all Rangers had to show for their efforts until the very latter stages, when Barron's effort was deflected over by Smets. In between times, Genk had any number of efforts. Should have scored at least a couple. He had a penalty saved by Butland at the end of the first period. Roshovsky hit the post. Eventually, when Genk did make the breakthrough, it was who finished 10 minutes into the second period. A wonderful break, a ball through. Stoikers found and he slotted it past Jack Butland to make it 1-0. Gassama sent an effort just wide as Rangers tried to respond, and then had the ball in the net once more as Roshovsky played it square across the goal. Netted, but Roshovsky was ultimately deemed to have been offside after a VAR check. Then came that Barron effort with a couple of minutes left, but Rangers could not muster any more, and they fall to defeat on the opening day of their Europa League campaign, and it's going to be an uphill battle from here on in if they are to progress once more in this competition. The fans have flocked out of Ibrox. Quick style once again. They have not been impressed by what they've seen this evening, and it finishes at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Genk 1.
Rangers versus Genk.
In the Europa League.
Live on Sportsound.
Scottish football lives here.